Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the 19th Sleepy Sunday stream I think I've done so far. Today, after a little bit of dalliance with some shooters and some more energetic games over the last week, and, falling in love with robots, as you do, today we're going to be going back to something very chill and something quite puzzly that I've been wanting to try for a while. This is the digital demo of LOK. You can find it on Steam right now, and you should probably go wishlist it on Steam because the developers are lovely, and I'm sure they would appreciate it. But this is a sort of word search puzzle game. Now, I've got the physical book of this that I wanted to play for ages on stream, but I haven't got a good setup for filming that. So instead, we're going to play the digital demo version of it, which as far as I'm aware has the same puzzles. I don't 100% know what the game is, because I've been trying to not read much about it. Apart from the fact I know that we basically learn the rules as we go, and I really like that style of puzzle game, both making and playing them. So, I guess it's best to let the game introduce itself today, and we can see how we go. As I say, this is just a demo. I'm not quite sure how long it is, so if we burn through it really quickly, I've got a backup game to play as well. But yeah, let's just get going, I suppose. With this very lovely, very kind of classic chill interface. Oh. Okay, the art style is already adorable. We rained a lot of letters there. Hey buddy. Okay, LOK are a fresh, new kind of living beings that spawned in the middle of a vast, incomprehensible world. Oh god, I feel that. Help them understand their surroundings and guide them towards expansion of their civilization. Okay. Creatures, little plant creatures made out of letters, apparently. I guess let's go to the first area. Oh. Well, they learned fire pretty quickly, so I think they're going to do alright. Learn the first keyword, LOK. It makes you black out an additional cell. Okay, so left click is activate the cells, right click is undo. This is a really common interface problem that sort of drives me a little mad. Is that when you do this, it's quite hard to figure out which one's is clicked when you've only got binary colours. That's something I've had to faff with quite a lot myself. Anyway. Okay. It's literally okay. So as we type at the top, we have to spell words in order. And we have to click stuff that is orthogonally adjacent. Cool. Oh, hey Rain Drinker, thanks for joining us. Rain Drinker is, I think, are you the only digital developer, or are you part of a small team digitally developing the the digital version of this paper puzzle? So I've also got some root beer here. I am really treating myself with a lazy chill Sunday. So yes, okay, so far we know that we have to spell words, the order matters, and we have to go orthogonally adjacent. Cool, so if we spell that word, so we get a keyword, the name of the little critters, and that makes us black out an additional cell. Oh, I see, the little creature goes and fills in the cell. Cool. A friend is helping out, but mostly me. Alright, cool, well, I'm always a big fan of tiny team games because that's where I live as well, so congrats. Congrats on the coverage on Shut Up and Sit Down recently as well. You must have been buzzing. Oh, okay, so this is teaching us you can spell words backwards as well. Are we allowed to black out cells with letters in? Ooh. Okay. I see that becoming important later, so yeah, we can use that. We can use that to black out that one. We always have to black out all cells in the grid. Okay, so in this one we can do that, black out that, and black out that. But I want to check something. Oh, no, that's... Yeah, I want to check something. Can I... Yes. Okay. So that's me being a nerdy puzzle type, is that I was wondering if the adjacency rules would change when you modified the grid, and it looks like they do. So once a cell's blacked out, it no longer counts for adjacency, so we can spell across spaces we've already coloured in. Interesting. But I guess this one is just teaching us what I was trying to play with last time, that we can black out cells that have letters in already. And this is going to be the one that teaches me the thing I was just playing with, I suspect. Yeah, so if we spell it there, we can black out that cell, which then means we can use the new adjacency rules we just learnt to go across here, because this space no longer counts. Which means we can black out that cell, which means we can then draw right the way down from the top and black out that final cell. Alright, this is going to... I can see where this is going, and I'm enjoying it. Oh, well, thank you for the follow, Rain Drinker. That's most appreciated. Okay. So, this one is doing my word brain in a bit, but I think if we do that... Yeah. Cover that cell, then we can spell it there again, and cover that cell. Okay, cool. This is only with a single keyword, and the fact that it highlighted LOK was a keyword makes me think there's definitely going to be new keywords. Ooh, I am excited. I am very excited. Okay. So what can we do here? So if we break this down, we can spell one here first off, or here first off, or here first off, or here first off. My suspicion is, yeah, if we do that one, then we can spell that word, and then that word. Okay. Interesting, very interesting. So yeah, as you can see, the puzzles are, as you'd expect, slowly getting more and more complicated with just this one keyword to kind of explore how this keyword interacts with the basic mechanics. So we always know that we have to, at the moment, cover up these empty cells with our keyword. So we've got 4 empty cells, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 letters. So that means we can spell LOK 4 times, and we've got 4 empty cells. So we always, in this level, have to use our keyword to blank out these cells. Are there multiple places where we can spell LOK or not? I'm only seeing this one. But if we then use that to blank out this cell, we can then spell LOK back this way. Oh boy. Yeah, and I think that's got us, because then we... Oh, no. We need to cover that one, because then we can spell LOK here again, cover that one, spell LOK the 4th time, and cover that one. Alrighty. Ooh. Interesting. Locked levels. I'm intrigued. Okay, so as we build the world, we also kind of fill in all their world with ink as well. I wonder how I unlock those. Interesting. Is that there's multiple solutions to puzzles, or do I come back? Okay. Either way, we've got 7 out of 5 solved levels, which means we've unlocked the next world, I guess. Or the next little hub world. Cool. Oh yeah, and they're sewn up there as well. Oh, so we are literally going through the different generations. They discovered fire, the different steps of kind of societal evolution. They discovered fire, and now they've discovered the wheel. That's very cute. They also look like they've discovered farming. So they are evolving their culture pretty quick. Learn a new keyword. Tlak. It makes you black out 2 adjacent cells. Interesting. What does that mean then? Ah, the 2 cells we black out have to be adjacent to each other. They don't have to be adjacent to the word. And it's like 2 of them. Is that, I guess, like this pair that are doing the wheel stuff? Okay, that means if we do that, then that, and then the same word spelling stuff works across kind of blacked out cells, so we can do that. Okay, and of course both words can appear in the same one. So if we do LOK, that lets us blank out that cell, and if we do Tlak, it lets us blank out 2 adjacent cells, but these 2 white cells are now adjacent, because remember, black cells don't count for adjacency. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so this is a single cell up here, and it can never, because adjacency doesn't work in diagonals. This cell, no matter what we cover up, can't connect to any others. So this cell we have to fill out with the LOK word, which means if we do that, we can fill out that. If we do that, we can fill out those 2. So lets us fill out that final one up there. Oh, this is very clever design. This is very clever design. I'm definitely going to have to play the full book, or indeed the full digital version when it comes out. Do you have any idea when you're looking for it to come out, Rain Drinker, if you're still about? So what words can we spell immediately? We've got a Tlak. And I don't think we can spell LOK anywhere just yet. So if we do that one, we have to do 2 adjacent letters. This year for sure. Oh, that's nice. Not too long to wait then. I mean, it's already looking like a very polished demo. So I guess part of it is implementing the new keyword mechanics and new levels. Yeah, if we blank out those 2, we've then got LOK there and LOK there. These games always involve quite a lot of just like staring at these grids and then something in your brain will kind of trigger. Okay, so we can spell Tlak across there. It's worth bearing in mind both words have the L, which means we could probably end up sharing or needing to make sure we introduce those to the correct word. We spell LOK there, we can spell LOK there, and there's a LOK up there as well. So I don't think we want to spell this version, because that stops us from being able to spell that one. So I would guess this version. So it allows us to fill in that cell. So we can do that word up there, which allows us to fill in that cell. And then we've got a Tlak across there, and we then have these 2 adjacent cells over here. Ooh, ooh. I saw a lock unlock. Ah, so I think we've unlocked 8 here. That's interesting. I wonder why these haven't unlocked. I'm definitely going to have to go back and dig into that in a bit. Okay. So. Oh, hey Mike. That is a good point. Oh, they've got buildings. That is a very good point. It's always difficult with this sort of symbology when you've got multiple locked things. I found this when I was testing some of my games. If the symbols are similar, everyone will just go to the one they've seen. Anyway, we are not skipping forwards until we solve these puzzles. Now, we've got a lock across there, a tlack across there, a tlack across there, and a lock across there. Which means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, again, we need to do these empty cells. Ah, locked levels are just not in the demo. Ah, okay, that makes sense. Then I will not go digging and see if there's alternate solutions for stuff. Okay, so how are we going to do this? We have to start here, I think. And we can either blank out that cell or that cell, which will get us... which will let us spell another word. If we blank out that cell, we have to fill in 2. There's no way we can easily fill in 2 that won't cover up another letter. Or while also unlocking a new word, if you see what I mean. So what I mean is if I do this one and I do this, the only places I can set up 2 adjacent ones without covering a letter is here or here, but that doesn't open up another word, so we get stuck. Whereas I think if I fill in there, then that unlocks a word for us here. And then we can use these 2 adjacencies, using the fact that we've covered up that letter, that A there, to then fill in that word, which lets us do that. And then that gets us another lock, so we can fill in there. This is a really interesting design, because it's sort of like a word search stroke crossword, but without the cryptic crossword clues. And seeing as I'm terrible at cryptic crossword clues, that really helps me. Although I imagine you start to go quite word blind when you have this many kind of letters all next to each other. Okay, so straight away we can spell a word here, 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 or here. Okay. So if we do that one, we could fill in those 2. But then the problem is we get stuck here because we want to fill in this cell and this cell, which we can't do. So instead we could do that one. Fill in those 2 cells. Is that it? We can do that one and then fill in those 2 cells. But then I'm not sure we're allowed to do this. Yes, you have to fill in 2 cells. So although that finishes the grid, because I can't fill in 2 cells from here, it doesn't count as not a valid solution. That's an interesting thing that's probably going to come back later. Oh, hey Scott. If you've just joined us, let me explain the rules we've got so far. Basically, we have 2 keywords, and you spell keywords by dragging across in the order. We have LOK, which is the name of these little critters, who I'm in my headcanon are made out of ink. And we have TLAK, which is 2 of these little LOK critters. And the idea is we have to fill in this entire grid from white to black. The tricky bit is, when we spell words, we have to spell them in a straight line. We can't do right angles, which I've just thought to check. But adjacency only counts for white cells. So if we do this, for example, this top cell and this bottom cell now count as adjacent. And LOK lets us fill in one other cell. TLAC lets us fill in 2 cells that have to be adjacent. And we have to fill in the entire grid and make sure that we do what the keyword says. So, okay, if I spell LOK, that means I have to fill in. Yeah, with made up words and also the effect of the made up words of what they do. But really, not to get too philosophical on Sunday, aren't all words made up? And I think I've just seen the trick of this. Because if I do this word, I can fill in one of that TLAC. And if I do this TLAC, I can use the adjacency across here. Yeah, probably. Shouldn't you always need gin on a Sunday? I've got a Virgil's root beer, so I'm very happy. And then we've got this TLAC. We can finish those last 2 letters. Nice. Alrighty. Okay. So looking for initial words, we've got a LOK across there. We've got a TLAC that could happen across there, but we need to cover that cell. Yeah, lol. You've got to try and solve this, lol. I think that's the only first word I can see to spell. And then my suspicion is, from this stage, if we cover up that letter, that lets us spell TLAC across there and LOK up there. Which I'm going to assume is good. Which I'm going to assume is good. But I can't prove it's good. So the next thought I'd have is to do that. Yes, that's it, because if we put one there, we've then got a TLAC across there, which means we can blank out those 2 cells. And then we have a LOK across there for the final cell. Okay. Okay, this is starting to definitely tickle the brain now. Quick victory sip. Alright. So, we've learnt 2 keywords so far. And our little critters have gone from discovering fire to discovering the wheel and farming to apparently quite surprisingly fancy buildings. With very lax health and safety regulations that they can stick themselves out of the 1st and 2nd story windows. In fact, it looks like they've even got sidewalks or pavements and sewering systems, so you know, they're doing pretty well for themselves. Alright. Learn a new keyword. Trust the learning process. Oh no. So now we've gone from having to learn the mechanics to also having to learn the keywords and their effects. Okay. Well, I assume the keyword isn't just woo. So I get, is it going to be Tau? Oh, it's just Ta. Oh. Wait. Ta or at works. I need to check something quickly. Okay, we've always been able to spell the keywords backwards. It doesn't mind. Good. I just wanted to check that, just in case there was some oddity where keywords spelt backwards meant something different. Okay, so I think it's probably ta. Ooh. Okay, so ta, then it looks like it fills in all areas of contiguously adjacent letters that are the same. So that kind of flood fills that whole area of U's. Interesting. And I'm going to assume then that the flood fill process uses our normal rules of adjacency. So if I do this, I can either fill in all the H's, or I can then fill in all those G's, because they're adjacent. Because adjacency is only between white cells. Okay. And I can spell that across and flood fill the H's. Oh. I immediately read that as salsa's okay. Which, you know, I like salsa. It is pretty okay. Okay, so... Oh... It's not about adjacency. It's all of that letter. Oh. Interesting. Because then we can spell LOK and finish that last one off. Okay. Can we also flood fill empty spaces? Or not flood fill, just fill all empty spaces. We can. Interesting. I hope T is a keyword. Let's see if we can spell that. I think if I do at there and fill in those two, we can spell T. No, I'm sorry, T is not a keyword. At least not for the LOK. It's a keyword in my life. T is whenever anyone brings me tea ever. Yeah, that's fair. I kind of want to spell... I was thinking that... I was trying to spell 8, but it won't let me. So I think if we fill in those and then fill in those two... We can then fill in those two, use that to cover the E's, then fill in those two and use that to cover the L's. Oh, it's amazing how quickly you start to see the patterns you've been preconditioned to. Because I saw this and immediately went, oh, there's a LOK that I could possibly spell down here, and there's a TLAC that could be spelled across there as well as across there. We really are pattern finding creatures. And there's an at here and an at here. But the interesting thing here is, if I then fill in all the L's, I then can't do anything because the L's part of both of the other keywords. So I don't want to fill in the L's or the K's, or at least not immediately. So what letter can I fill in? Yeah, okay. That's really interesting. That the rules start to become self-destructive across each other. Ooh. Okay, so I'm filling the O there. We're going to have that same problem we had before, because I can spell TLAC there, And that will let me fill in those two. But then I have to spell tlack across there, and then I don't have any spaces left to fill in. Ha. The other option is I do at there. And I use that at to get rid of those A's. But then I can no longer spell... tlack, which is what I need to. I can do a lock, but then I'm stuck. If I fill in that O... Oh no, because then I can't spell that anymore. Okay. Taking a step back, I think tack has to be the first keyword. Or sorry, at has to be the first keyword, or ta. Because I don't think I can spell any of the other keywords immediately. Which means it either has to be this one or this one, and then we have to figure out which cell to fill in. It does feel like it has to be that O. It can't be those A's. It can't be the K's. Ooh, the first stumper of a puzzle for me. Interesting. So that's always a good time to go back to first principles. So we have three keywords: LOK, TLAK, and TA. TA makes us get rid of a whole set of letters. LOK allows us to cover one, and tlack means we have to cover up two. So, and we can't not do the consequences of our keywords. That's the important part. The other first principle is that I think that ta has to be the first keyword. So we can't spell tlack, we can't spell lock, we can't spell tlack. And this is the only place we can spell at, I think, or ta. So assume we do that again. Yeah, that then means we can either basically press oh, I've just seen it. If we fill in that A... No, I haven't seen it because it ruins that A. Damn it! I was really certain I'd seen it there for a second. Yeah, because it's all A's, which then means all we can spell is lock. Which then gets us stuck. It really feels like what we need to do is fill in that O, but then that only leaves us with two things we can cover up, which is what gets us stuck in this situation. But it has to be something. It feels like it has to be something from lock, because otherwise we cover up too many letters. That means we can't do anything. And the only letter in the keyword from lock that's different is the O. If we do that way around, we then get stuck. Because then we've got too many A's. It's like, Clark. There's only one potential place where you can spell lock. doing K's immediately gets us stuck. No, it doesn't. 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 We can do everything with a Taz. That's it. If we spell those L's there, we then have a TA there, which means we can do all those K's, and then we have a TA there, which means we can do that O. That's a cheeky little puzzle. Very cheeky. I forgot about the overlap in letters with our third keyword. Thanks, Mike. Had you seen that ages ago? It feels like something that the crowd would have seen ages ago. Okay. So in this we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 empty cells, which is way more than we've got letters for. We can't immediately spell an at like a ta, so I think we have to do that, to do that, to do that, which lets us do that. I should really say that with more like words in between. If we spell LOK, then we can fill in a space. If we fill in that space, it lets us spell ta. So then lets us fill in all of one type of cell. We can then fill in the empty spaces, which leaves us with a tlack at the top, which makes us fill in 2 adjacent spaces, like those 2 down there. Fled. Now I'm just seeing words. Okay, so to start off with, we can do a LOK there, tlack there. I'll take that giggle as a yes. Now F and D are not in any of our keywords yet, so we'll know we'll have to cover them up with some keyword shenanigans. And got an A here and a T there, A and a T there. So the 2 places we can spell at are across here, or up there. Oh no, up there even. So we could do like a tlack there, fill in those 2. Gets us an like an at or a ta there, but then all these letters are different, so we can't really do much of that. Or do like a LOK there, fill that in to give us an at up there, to then fill that E in. Yes, that's the solution. I was looking at this thinking that doesn't quite work because I don't have enough space up there. But if we then fill that E in, we then have a tlack back across there, and the 2 adjacent ones we can use up there. So basically we use this to allow us to do the one that lets us fill in non-adjacent cells. Lets us fill in those 2 E's, which gets us a tlack, which lets us fill in those last 2 ones. Nice. Oh, my brain is definitely starting to feel this. But gently and in a chilled way, which is perfect for a Sunday like this. Okay, so after having, discovered and evolved their society to buildings and cities, they've now discovered electricity, so they're getting rid of all their dangerous gas lighting. So I guess we're going to go a new keyword. Cells of X are conductors. Ooh. Oh no. So X's don't count in our words. Incidentally, I've just realised that the mechanics do sort of match the evolution of their society. So they start off being like solo nomads here and only filling in 1 cell at a time. Then they discover agriculture and working together here, so there's 2 cells at a time. Then they discover cities and like interconnected living, so you can then move across the grid much faster and do disconnected stuff. And now electricity works as conductors in the puzzle mechanics. Okay, so that means we can bridge that gap. Okay, but the important thing here is it conducts across the X. The X doesn't count in the word, which means it doesn't get filled in. Ooh. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Yeah. Okay, this is going to be the mechanic that breaks me. Conductors also let you change the direction of the word. Oh, no. So yeah, we've got tlack, but using the conductors we can go around that corner, and they don't count as part of the word, means we can then use the tlack keyword to fill them in. Yeah, this is going to be a problem. Because in this one, we have to use these conductors to go around corners. But the problem now here is if we use this to fill in that cell, it no longer counts as a conductor, so we then can't turn that next corner. which I hope makes sense. Basically, if we do this one first, we have to fill in one of these two X's. And whichever one we fill in means we can't use that cell anymore. Its special ability has been kind of covered up. We need that special ability to turn corners. So instead, we need to do this one. And we can fill in that one. And then we can use this one to get around that corner. And we can fill in that one. Oh, this is terrifying me now. Okay, so from this, it's no longer as easy to see words we can start with. We've got no O's, so we can't do LOK. We've got A's and T's, which means we can do a ta, and we've got K's, which means we can do tlack, which means we can go around this way. We can go around this way and do a tlack like that. Then if we fill in those two using the rules, we can then do ta all the way across there, use that conductor to turn the corner, and then this fills in all of the same types, which means we can then use that to fill in all the conducting spaces. Oh. Okay. So we've now got two conductors here and here, three conductors here, here and here, which are conveniently placed at corners so we can do stuff like that. So that's one keyword I can see in tlack. There's also... yeah, there's another one, there's another tlack hiding there, because we can go up there, bounce here, bounce here, bounce here. Now, one thing that's really helping me out here is I spent 2 years making a game called Solace 1 to 8, which is all about redirecting pulses using lasers. So I'm very used to seeing, I'm just imagining these X's as being mirrors, and I'm very used to seeing kind of like bouncing like pulses of light and the paths they can take, which I feel is really going to help with these conductors. Because I can fill that bit in, which then means we can spell tlack across that way. I am a massive nerd, it's true. Which then means I can fill in these two. I can spell that word there to finish that last one. So V's not used in anything. Any of the keywords we know yet. Can we do this? Amazing. So we can actually... on my brain. So we can loop across ourselves using the conductors as well. So we can start here, we can go up here, I assume we can't turn back on ourselves. No. So instead we can do this loop where we go up here using the conductors, come back, conductor back across ourselves again to spell lock. Now I don't think we want to do that. Ah, we do want to do that because then we can fill in that U and then we can go and do another loop around like that, giving us the keyword that lets us fill in all the similar ones. Get rid of all our conductors again. I'm not sure what this says about my brain, but I immediately read that across as Legit. In the Bender voice where he says, "Cheese it!" Okay. So E's and G's, again, I don't think are used in any of the keywords we know yet. We can spell slack around like that if we wanted to. Or... I say or. But I don't think I see any other immediate keywords, because we've got A's and T's, but we can't get to them without covering stuff. We've got L's and O's and K's, but we can't... I don't think we can link those up yet, so let's do that as the first keyword. Figure out what's a good idea to do then. What is a good thing to do then? I'd assume cross those out. But then I think that scuppers us. Yeah, that feels like it scuppers us. So is there any other initial keywords we can spell? This T doesn't really help us, because we either have to go that way or that way, and we don't have... We can spell T again, but we know that's not a keyword. And neither apparently is teak. And if we go this way, we immediately need to pick up the E, and we can't change direction. I know, it's a keyword to quite a lot of developers. You start with this L, but that again kind of gets us stuffed pretty quickly. It feels like it has to be this, but then what do I do with that? And then we can do the at. But is that helpful? Because I think we're then still stuck after that. Yeah, because we then can't spell any more words from there. I feel like we want to be able to get it to spell that lock somehow. I don't see how we can do that. Because getting to that O before that K, it's kind of problematic with how the letters are laid out. No, it's not. I've just seen it. We can go from here across to this conductor and then do a big loop-de-loop. Which then lets us cover that one up. Allows us to then zigzag the at across there and finish it off. Oh, that was a good puzzle. That was a satisfying little puzzle to solve. Alrighty. So, we've got no letters that are not kind of keyword related now. We can spell lock down there. We can spell lock like that. And there are lots of places where we can potentially spell tlack with some corners. So we filled that one in. That's not quite right. Axolotl. Oh yeah, we're not far off axolotl, are we? I'm not sure if I can perfectly spell that within the rules of the game yet. So there's definitely a tlack across here. So if we get a tlack that allows us to cover up those two spaces, we can spell another tlack. Problem with this one is we can only turn here. And that's not super useful, because you immediately run into the other stuff. Ah. Nope. Nope. Too soon with my dramatic R. So I was thinking if we can do... No, I wasn't, because we can do that. We can spell lock across here, which allows us to do that. Which then, because basically the trick is they want you to think you can spell tlack to get the 2, but you have to spell lock twice to get the 2. Because then we can spell that one I saw before. So let's just fill in these 2, and then we can bounce around the houses to get our ta. So let's just fill in the final conductors. Hooray! Is that us? Oh no, there's still some more. There's more in this demo than I was expecting. And apparently we've now got to industrialization. Oh, they've got hard hats on now. That's really cute. They have. The industrial revolution is happening. I'm sure their falling health and safety standards will not become a problem in the long run. Learn a new keyword. Is it B? Ooh. Or ebb. Apparently that means we get one with glasses on. Uh-oh. Oh no. So that lets us write in a new letter from a subset. I wonder why that subset. That must really relate to other keywords. So like Y and G and E maybe are in other keywords. But we can basically... Yeah, we can spell all the keywords we know. Lock, tlack, at, and use our X. So in this case, we want to put O. I like how it gets kind of drawn in slightly blurry, like the LOK's prescription is wrong. We can then use that to spell that word that we learned at the beginning to fill in that space. Oh, this is going to complicate things again. So, there's lots of places we can spell ebb. And it looks like we probably want to spell tack up there. which means we'd need an X in here and an A in here to do that, which we can do. We put the X in there using that one. We put the A in there using that one. That means we can spell clack. Which then gives us a problem because I have to fill in 2. So that one might need to be an O instead. Which lets us spell lock. Which lets us fill in that space. And then we can do ta across there, which lets us fill in that conductor space. Leak. Oh, I'm sorry, Wales. We can't spell leak. So, what can we do here? We can't really use the E's for anything as far as I'm aware. Oh, no, because E's are part of ebb. If we do that, do we then put a B in there? Let's do that again. But then we get stuck here. So we spell that there. Oh, we put the B in there. Just put a B in there. This is ridiculous. We can spell that ebb there, which means we can put an O in there. Just to spell lock to fill in that final space. Oh man. Oh man, okay. So off the bat, we can spell like ebb twice here and here. We can spell like ta twice here and here as well. Huh. I can't see a lock or a tlack. We're now getting to the stage where we can't immediately intuit what the first word should be. We could just do something like this where we just get rid of all the blank spaces, but I suspect that's a really terrible idea. The reason being... I think I've just seen it, because the reason being, we now can't use this keyword because it has to go in a blank space. However, if we did these ones and we're just like, yeah, we don't care what letters these are, and then we do this one, we can then spell tlack across there and use its ability to get rid of our 2 new letters. Cool. Very cool. Okay. I don't think we've got S in any of our letters yet. Is that one we can write? Interesting, and that's not even one we can write from our learned friend here. Okay, so initial words as always. Got a B over here, an E over here. They're quite a long way away, so we can't really do anything with them yet. We can't really spell lock anywhere. We can't spell tlack anywhere. Which means we'll have to start with this ta, I think. Yeah, which would then allow us to spell LOK across there. But if we were to do that, we couldn't then spell TLAC. I've kind of scuppered us being able to spell TLAC, so I don't think that's a good idea. What if we use that to get rid of the S's? Well, then we can do LOK across there. Oh, mate, yes. Okay, then we do LOK across there. We fill in that space. It allows us to spell ebb. Then, I think the trick here is if we fill X in there, we can then use these two to get the fill in all of the same. And we can fill in all of the same. This is very good. I'm definitely going to run out of root beer before I finish these puzzles, I suspect. Got teal, a delightful colour, and we have a LOK across the bottom. Oh, a LOK across the bottom, and an ebb there as our first potential things, and an ebb there as well, actually. So if we do this, we can then obviously fill in another space. But I'm not sure that's actually helpful. Because if we do this instead, make that an X, we can then fill in TLAC down there. But I'm not sure that's helpful either. So you then don't have enough letters left to spell anything. Interesting. The other option is I spell ebb there, and that gets us an at. Because I could then put a TLAC straight in there. But I think... So we could do that, for example. Which is fine. But then, what would we cover up? Do something like that, but then we have two different symbols here which we then can't get rid of with the ta. The other option is that we could do something like put a T in there. And let us do this to get rid of that. Do this to get rid of that. And do this to get rid of that. Cool. Not 100% sure if that was the solution or not. Or if there's multiple solutions to these. That felt a bit cheeky. But I think I'll take it. Flee. Didn't that win an Oscar? I don't think I've seen it, but I'm pretty sure that or was it RRR won an Oscar? Might have been 5 R's, 3 R's actually. I can't think about it. Anyway, words we can spell right straight away are basically LOK. Yeah, that's the only word we can spell immediately. But then we can spell ebb a lot. we say do this, and let's say put a T up there, do this, put A up there, does this work? It doesn't feel like this is going to work. Well, we'd have to do it this way around anyway. And also put the right letter down. But then we can do this, but then we get stuck with not being able to select anything with that. And we don't want to immediately fill those in, because then we can't use the ebbs. Huh. So I'm pretty sure that's a good first move. He says, suspecting he'll regret that when he watches back this VOD. But, questions then, what would the next move be? Obviously we have to do some form of ebb. But the question is what? Which type of ebb? How low will our ebb be? And we can spell ebb 4 times. But you can spell ebb 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Means we could spell tlack. But then this one won't be adjacent, is the problem. Because if we spelled tlack up here, there's no way we can make this adjacent to these ones up here. And it has to be spelt up there. So we can also spell at twice or ta twice, and we can spell ebb another 2 times, but I don't think that will help. Or we could spell LOK once, but I don't think that will help either. Which makes me think I am absolutely missing something. But let's just try it. If I do what I was just gibbering about and spell well, I've done that the wrong way around immediately. Bye. No, I haven't. Or maybe I have. That one. So if I spell like a whole new word, keyword up here, we then run into this problem that we want to fill in this one and this one, but we can't because they're not adjacent in our own rules. And I don't think there is a way to make that adjacent. So the other option is that we spell LOK across here. But then that doesn't help because it's just not going to fill in enough spaces. Unless we use that to fill in this space. Does that help us? Maybe. So we do this. And I'm not sure that does help us now I've just thought about it. Unless we put it there. Then we do this one and put the A there. Then we've got a ta down there, but we've also now stuffed ourselves with this E. Oh, okay. Yeah. Because this space is a problem. These two spaces are problems, so we want to try and get rid of them somehow. But if we put the lock like the lock one that gets covered here, this one remains a bit of a problem for us. Do we do something really... Put an X there, but I'm not sure that's a good idea. I'm not sure that's a good idea at all, honestly. It does let us do some slightly more fun movements, but then we run out of ability to fill in spaces. So it definitely feels like we've got to spell ta somewhere. The question is, where on earth do we do that in a way that doesn't ruin everything? It really feels like it has to go there. But then that leaves us with this issue. We'll do this. Then where do we go from here? You can only now spell a two-letter word. You spell a two-letter word. Interesting. This means we can do this. Do this. And that will now stuff us. Ah, oh, I thought that might have been the thing, because then we can put a letter in. We've now got one space we can't sort out. Oh, this one is tricksy. Okay, can we still somehow get this to spell Tlak? Problem is, because we're never going to be able to fill in that space. Yeah, if we don't put this, the one from LOK here, we're always going to end up with some odd issues with filling in all these kind of ebbs. We always reach this kind of stage where we get a bit stuck. I think. Oh, no. I want that to be an A. We can do kind of this sort of thing. But yeah, now we definitely get a bit stuck. Okay, so it's back to first principles time. I was assuming the only first word I could make was LOK. Because we don't have T's, so we can't do TLAC or AT. And none of the EBs will let us get to them. So I feel like that has to be the first move. It really feels like it has to go there. But also that means I'm missing some essential thing in my brain. That feels really negative. What I mean is I'm missing some, like, the twist to this level that unlocks it. I can't quite see it at the moment. Because we're only going to be able to do at maximum. I guess we could just keep spelling ebb. I don't think that actually helps us, does it? Let's try it. No, because now all we can do is we can just keep putting letters down. We then get stuck. Do we spell ebb and then this? But I think we tried this, right? Yeah, because then we have to put a letter down here, and there's nothing doing it from that stage. Ah, I've just seen it. I've just seen it. We do this, and then we spell LOK with that additional ebb, which then means we can fill in that final space that's been causing us so many troubles. Nice. Oh goodness, that one really caught me up for a while. My Brians. So yes, let's go over that solution again, because I was so excited that I just rushed to the end. So, we use our basic keyword, which allows us to fill this space in. And we know we have to fill this space in, because otherwise, these ebbs, we can't do all 4 of the ebbs that we need to do. But, the thing is here, we've got 4 ebbs, but if we spend... So, it makes us think we can only write 4 letters. But if we spend 2 of those ebbs to write another ebb, actually, it means we can write 5 letters overall, which allows us to do a 2-letter word and a 3-letter word, rather than either a 4-letter word or 2 2-letter words. And I'd not twigged that until just then. So we fill in that space, and then we kind of colour these in the right order, which is this one. And then this one. And then this one. We can start spelling ebb and then LOK up here. But then because we've written an extra ebb, we can use that to make the final letter of the word LOK. So let's just fill that in. It's a sign of a good puzzle game that now I've seen that, the solution to that is so obvious, and yet it took me some period of time to try and solve. Which is quite a suitable final puzzle there, because that is the end of the demo, it seems. So we have done 5 little worlds, charting some of the evolution of the LOK critters societally up to the industrial age. And I've got to say, I really liked that. I've been wanting to play this in the book form for ages, because I have heard nothing but good things about the design of this puzzle. I've got the physical book, which you can still order. And basically you have a little acetate on there, so you can fill it in without ruining the book. But I would highly recommend you go wishlist this on Steam if you haven't already. It's super helpful for small developers and small creators, or small teams of creators, like the people who made this. So I strongly recommend you go and give it a try. And the demo's out if you want to go play with it. And I would strongly suggest going and playing with the demo to see if you like this. It is, at its heart, a paper puzzle game, but I think games like this, where you're trying to figure out the rules as you go, it's quite nice sometimes to have them digitally, because it allows you to ensure your understanding of the rules is correct. It's quite easy in a paper puzzle game to not understand a rule or intuit a rule incorrectly, and then there's no one to tell you, no, that's wrong, which can make it a bit tricky. But yeah, that was really good fun. I'm glad I got around to that demo, and I'm also feeling quite satisfied I managed to make my way through the demo without too many sticking points. Having said that, we've only been going an hour and a half, so I had another game as a backup that we could give a try to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly swap over to that one, and you'll see why I suspect I had this backup game in my back pocket for a particularly cozy Sunday stream. So let me go to my magic pause scene and mute the desktop audio for a second as I do a quick switch over. And then we can play with levels and stuff, because I won't have checked the levels on this one. As I then try and remember the name of the game I was going to play next. But yeah, I strongly recommend you go and check that out. That was really, really cute. Both from a design perspective and a visual perspective. And the demo seems to work really, really solidly as well. Very few issues in it, which is always nice as well. What was the name of that game? He says, showing off the amount of prep he does for these things. We'll go have a quick dig. Because I remember what the company's called. I cannot remember what the game was called right now, because I only grabbed it yesterday. That was it. There we go. Let's see if this is going to run. Then I can fiddle with the Steam settings. Aha! It is. Oh, and it's doing horrible things to my mouse. So let's switch over to this one. And let's change to the next game. Alrighty. So yes, this is a game called Assemble with Care. And I saw it and immediately went, oh, it's got a bunch of cassette tapes and stuff. I have to try this. Oh, hang on, I've just noticed that the desktop audio is not back on, so let's get you that back. There you go. Hopefully the audio level's right on this, but let me know if the game's too loud, and perhaps when a settings menu appears we can fiddle with that. Satisfying buttons. Bit mix. I bet there's New Kids on the Block or Bros. I'm sure it would have a particularly young Justin Timberlake on it as well. In that outfit that you kind of wishes everyone would forget. I don't know, I think the game wants us to do something with this cassette tape. Like probably put it in this portable cassette player down here. Oh, those are very nostalgic noises for me. Oh dear, that tape is warping, something horrible. They really shouldn't have put that on the radiator. Oh. I remember these types of headphones. They were awful. They were just so uncomfortable and itchy. But they were like the only headphones we had, which meant they were also some form of insane magic. Plug. This game is best played with sound. Nope. Oh. Can I not play her mix? No. I guess it's time to listen to what Maria's mix is. I don't know, this is where I feel like I want to be really nerdy and say it's a surprisingly good dynamic range for such a cheap looking cassette player.
After a year on the road, I thought I'd get tired of traveling. The endless clatter of railways, highways, and everything in between.
I wasn't expecting Maria to speak to us. But hello, Maria.
But as my train pulled into the station at Bellariva, I felt every bit as excited as the first day of my journey. A whole year. It felt like a lifetime. The places I'd seen, the people I'd met, of course, the forgotten treasures I'd given a new lease of life along the way. I'm a restorer by trade. Bringing our most beloved possessions back to life is what I love to do. I'd been traveling for months, working my way from one town to the next, fixing everything from family heirlooms to VCRs.
Oh, yes, please. Please let me fix a VCR.
Bellariva was my chance to take a break. Unfortunately, that would have to wait until after I'd unpacked.
It's fine. We upgraded from jam sandwiches to circular waffles when we made it to the DVD era. Oh, okay. So the tea mug is our pause menu. Okay, that's kind of adorable. Yeah. Apparently, I can now fiddle with levels in the game. So let me know if the game is too loud. Alrighty. I guess we'll pick up the suitcase and we'll put it back down again. Is this a clicky draggy thing? Okay, that makes more sense. We can sort of hover it in midair and then shake everything inside around. Let's hope there's nothing fragile in there. Oh, this is the most neatly packed suitcase I've ever seen. This is clearly not mine.
I saw a guitarist wearing these at a show once. Rock and roll repair woman, at your service.
Are those supposed to be earrings? Okay, well, let's take the toolbox out.
The tools of my trade. No hope of restoring things without these.
Clonk. Well, they are earrings, aren't they? I was getting a bit confused by the shadows. I guess let's take out our passport.
My passport. Not many blank pages left now. I picked up these sunglasses on my last stop. Hopefully I'm cool enough to pull them off.
Oh, no. Sunglasses go there. What's this? Hairbrush.
Who doesn't love a scrunchie? Practical and stylish.
I can confirm I have not worn a scrunchie in a very long time. Is that a disposable camera?
Looking forward to taking more close-ups of my fingers with this.
Oh, those disposable cameras were also awful, but also some form of insane magic.
My parents took this after I made my first repair. Seems like a lifetime ago.
Oh, our first repair appears to have been some form of alarm clock.
I'll hand these out once I'm settled in. Fingers crossed they get me some work. My favorite overalls. These will never go out of style.
She has apparently packed exactly one outfit. And we have completed our suitcase.
Finally, I'd made it to Bellariva. I'd come for the food festival, taking place in a few days' time. After living off TV dinners and instant ramen for the last few months, I was craving a decent meal.
Ah, TV dinners. That's a term we don't use anymore.
Of course, I'd need to earn enough money to pay for it, so I figured I'd head out the next day and find some work.
Like when you used to have a special rolly tray table just to put your TV dinner on.
My parents never wanted me to go. They wanted me to stay in their shop and have a simple, stationary life. I knew there was a world out there, beyond the four walls of our antique store, that I had to be a part of. I daydreamed constantly about the weird and wonderful places each of our antiques came from. I loved figuring out their stories, revealing the memories hidden beneath the screws and wires. My story in Bellariva began with a little girl, and a voice she was longing to hear.
I fear this game is going to be so sweet it's going to give me some form of diabetes. Oh wow. Okay, so there's a fair amount of little devices to try and repair in here. Oh, and I'm already liking the look of some of these silhouettes. I had all of these sorts of things. I used to love it. That looks like some form of action figure. And then an old school rotary telephone. Proper SLR camera. Nice. Avery. Maria kills again. Only electronics, hopefully. That might be some form of reel-to-reel tape recorder? No idea what that is. And then we have a watch. Some form of till, maybe? A camping stove. Some anonymous looking box. Some form of jewelry box, perhaps? And another anonymous box. So I guess, let's go fix one of these very old, very rubbish tape recorders that I have such a soft spot for.
It was my first morning in Bellariva, and I couldn't wait to leave my hotel and explore. It was a quiet town, its streets and alleyways basking peacefully in the hot morning sun.
Maria's going to be quite talky,
In the
I
main
suspect.
square, meanwhile, preparations were underway for the festival in a few days' time. As I handed out my flyers, I wondered what the people of Bellariva would need me to fix. So far, everything here seemed perfect.
Yeah, thanks to you, Scotty. That now sounds really threatening. Everything here seemed perfect, and I will have to fix that.
I was starting to worry I'd made a mistake when I felt someone tapping me on the back.
Hi, I'm Izzy. Do you know how to fix things?
It was a little girl, maybe 7 years old, who must have gotten hold of one of my flyers. She rummaged around in her backpack until she hauled out a battered red cassette deck.
My tape is broken and I can't make it work anymore.
Oh,
I tried to fix it myself, but there's this metal thing in the way. Can you try?
Silly tape machines. Tell you what this game is reminding me a little bit of so far is a game called Fix Fox, where you were running around as a fox in space, fixing machinery and like using sticky plasters and things to glue stuff together. It was a really cute little fun game that I should actually get back to and play on stream at some point, because I never finished it. Okay, so we've got batteries, the old pencil, which has been repeatedly shown not really to work to wind tape online because it was, most people, at least in the UK, used a biro because the pencils were too thin. Exactly, a bit as the chat is shouting, Bic pen, Bic pen. It's become a weird meme because it was in a lot of the Japanese manuals where actually some of the Japanese pencils were thicker, which is why they suggested it. But it's quite common that people who don't quite remember using these devices very much have now got the like the Mandela effect. Anyway, and a classic screwdriver. So first things first, can we do the tapey windy? Oh, we have to move it into the middle first for some reason. Then we can do the tapey windy.
Why did you do that? How did you do that? I didn't see.
I mean, at 7 years old, I was definitely winding tapes back in myself. Okay. I guess we probably want to put batteries in this thing first. Okay, so it's click once. Oh, it's got that slightly odd thing when you rotate stuff, where you get gimbal locked, I think is the term. Okay. Get rid of the screw. Take the back off.
Aha! Those batteries look like they need replacing. Luckily, I have some spares.
Own brand batteries. What everybody used to buy because batteries were so expensive, and then you realise they were all quite rubbish. So you ended up using 4 times as many, and it ended up costing a little bit less. Do I not need to put the screw back in? Oh, that's nice. I just noticed we put it in a little tub up there. That is very organised. I don't think I ever had a little tub for putting my screws back in, which is probably why I used to not be part of the reason I used to not be very good at repairing things. Eject that. Let's put the tape in. Close and play.
Will you dream a dream for me? If I sit by your side and hold you so tight, know that I will always love you, even though we both know that we must say goodnight. Good night, my darling.
Despite the cynicism from you, Scott, I'm pretty sure that this kid's mum's going to be dead. From a narrative arc, that feels like what it has to be.
When it finished, Izzy picked up the tape deck and tucked it carefully into her backpack.
Thanks, Maria. You're the best person at fixing things ever.
No problem. Who was that singing? They're very good.
It's my mum. She's not here anymore.
Yeah, there we go.
Izzy trailed off. It was the kind of silence a cassette tape would never be enough to fill. When Izzy's friends called for her, she dug deep into her pockets, looking for something to pay me with. Eventually, she produced a grand total of a stick of gum, 3 mismatched buttons, and a yo-yo.
I mean, in Izzy's defense, I would totally take payment for that in yo-yo, because it was such an easy fix, and I used to be obsessed with yo-yos, to the extent that I had, like, I was probably good with them in a slightly embarrassing way.
I usually actually preferred a check, but Izzy looked so serious, I wrote out a full receipt.
Maria resurrects Kingsman from the dead. That might be chapter 13. Scott, who knows?
She seemed like a happy kid, but beneath it all, part of her life had been shattered. A part I wouldn't be able to fix.
Oh no, metaphor. And it is true, I used to have some, like, cassette tapes that were, like, really weirdly meaningful. Because they were, like, this thing that I used to listen to quite often. And it gets in your head in such a way that even when you find, like, a version later on, like a proper digital version, it doesn't sound right. Because it doesn't have the same kind of artifacts on it, and you're like, oh no, it doesn't give you the same effect as that one you've listened to over and over again. Physical media is weird, and I love it.
My first repair complete, I spent the rest of the day doing small jobs in and around the square.
Like, the fact it gets distorted and damaged the more you play it is sort of a really lovely thing in some ways.
I was exhausted when I got back to my hotel and found a message asking me to make one more visit. The address led me to a quaint little house, a stone's throw from the beach. Bathed in the evening light, it looked beautiful, in spite of its flaking. The front door was opened by a harried-looking man, still dressed from a long day at the office.
Are you Maria? My name's Joseph. I'm Isabel's father.
Okay.
I'm so sorry she bothered you this morning. Please, come in. I'd like to settle up properly.
On the mantelpiece, I saw the remains of a broken statue. Without thinking, I picked up a fragment.
Ah, my father's statue. What's left of it, at least. Yet another way I'd have disappointed him.
Wow, there is a lot of parental issues going on in this game already.
It survived 100 years in this family. But 5 minutes with Isabel and... Do you think you can salvage it?
Now, this was a part I was never any good at. Like, gluing things together was really not my forte. I tried so hard to actually not be rubbish at stuff like Airfix models.
Will you be able to see the glue afterwards? I don't want people seeing the cracks.
But I was I was awful at stuff like that. Just atrocious. Ah! I was not expecting that to just start squirting glue out immediately. No cracks. I'm sorry, but you're definitely going to be able to see the glue afterwards because I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, I guess we can see if it will let us glue stuff in the wrong way. Nope. Apparently the head doesn't go on the foot. Who knew? The head bone's connected to the foot bone. Well, I guess we need to, split that in. Amazingly, none of my really half-assed gluing job came out. Seriously though, is that the other leg? Oh, that is the other leg.
Sometimes I think my daughter should come with a warning label.
Ah! Just for that, I'm putting extra glue on this. Much glue as possible to punish you for being a douche about your daughter. There we go. Your statue is going to be a dribbly, dribbly boy. Guess that bit next. And that bit maybe? Glue all of the things. And splooge.
Is this glue really strong enough to hold everything together?
No, I'm just using prick stick. Prick stick or PVA. The two most pointless glues. So do we think this is a statue of his father? Because that feels a bit, because that feels a little bit, self-grandiose. You're getting auto-modded there, Scott, apparently. I can't think why. Apparently didn't like one of the words you used. Who would have thunk it?
Thank you, Maria. It looks as perfect as it ever did. My father wanted me to make something of myself. He didn't have time for anything less.
That's the name of the jazz in Star Wars. I honestly can't tell if you're telling the truth or not. And if you are, that is a delightful and also horrifying fact.
As Joseph put the statue back on the shelf, it nudged against the family portrait stood proudly next to it. So he was Bellariva's mayor. And that was Izzy's mom. They must both miss her so much.
Sorry, I'm a little tired. I've been working late getting things sorted for the festival. There's only a few days to go. Looks like I'll be working late. Again.
Cough. Free ticket to the festival, please. Cough.
When I told my parents I wanted to leave, they always found an excuse to be busy, to avoid talking about it. I guess keeping themselves occupied was their way of pretending it wasn't happening. Joseph's work must have been taking up so much of his time. But maybe that was what he wanted. I just hoped he was finding enough time for Izzy, too.
We've turned up in a new city, and we're already judging everyone here. Sounds about right. Oh, that is a lovely, lovely bit of kit. I have a horrific fondness for old rotary phones. I've actually got one in my drawer or my desk cupboard next to me that I at some point am intending to plug into an Arduino and do stuff with. But it turns out they're really complicated inside.
My second day in Bellariva dawned bright and clear. Another beautiful sunny morning.
Because they've got like lots of actual physical moving parts in them, which means they also weigh enough to act as a murder weapon in Cluedo.
Walking into town, I passed cafes overflowing with customers cradling their morning coffees. I stopped, breathing in the smell of roasted coffee beans and freshly baked pastries.
Freshly baked pastries.
I was about to go inside when the owner of Carmen's, the cafe next door, stopped me.
Hello, Maria? Were you here yesterday handing out flyers? I have a job for you.
Hi, Carmen.
Her place was petite, tucked between its competitors as if hoping they wouldn't notice. Judging by the empty tables inside, though, her potential customers hadn't noticed it either.
Man, we are being so judgy. Just enjoy the nice quiet cafe, Maria.
It's a bit slow today, but we're just getting started. I'm sure it'll pick up soon.
As Carmen chatted, she walked over to the counter and returned with an old rotary phone.
At least I've got plenty of time to practice my recipe for the festival. It's a new special I've been working on. I was hoping to call my sister for some, seasoning tips, but it won't connect.
Well, that sounds deeply suspicious. Also, what time period is this supposed to be in? That tape recorders are relatively modern and rotary phones are very old-fashioned.
Can you see if you can figure out what's wrong?
Soylent Seasoning is people. It maybe looks like a beautiful, undisturbed hamlet, but really... Is that the bell? Who's that? Yeah. How do I... There we go. Ooh, what's this? What's any of this? Ugh.
Obviously, we'd normally be much busier than this.
The sound effects on this are so ridiculously nostalgic. The picking up the receiver and the bell inside lightly going off is a disturbingly nostalgic noise.
You can fix it, can't you? I can't afford to replace it.
I don't know, I've not looked at it yet. Yep. The thing that it took me until I was an adult to actually realise with all of this stuff is I never understood how a lot of things were put together, and it's because they always hid the screws under the feet. So you actually had to peel off these little feet to expose the screws. So in real life, all the screws would have actually been under these little feet. And I didn't realise that until I was ridiculously older than you might think. And I was just like, how have they screwed this together? I can't see any screws. If you've watched any Tech Moan or similar, you'll know he spends most of his life peeling these things off so he can get to the screws. And then having to buy new ones to cover them back up again. Whoop. Well, that's probably the bit we want to keep, isn't it? Oh yeah, there's a broken... That looks like a broken bell. So let's grab that bit and unscrew that bit. And then we can take that bit off. Click the wire and drag it to the toolbox to detach it. Oh, that's not... That's not how you should take off wires in old technology. Just stretch it until it pops out. Oh man, that actively hurt me inside. Okay, so those are wires. That's good to know. Man, that really deeply upset me, disconnecting wires like that. Okay, well let's take off the broken bell, I suppose. Whoop. Into the bin with you. A new bell in there. Magically all the screws are the same length, so we don't have to deal with that problem, which is a problem I remember from fixing anything. That every screw was a different random length. Get rid of the old circuit board. Put in the new circuit board. It did feel a little bit violent, right? Take the cable. I guess cable goes from bell to bell. And then another cable goes from phone symbol to phone symbol.
Looks like this new circuit board is all hooked up.
Yeah, this is obviously quite simplified inside. The bit that makes this the rotary dial work is actually a physical spinning.
Still a few parts missing.
I haven't finished yet. I was talking. Yeah, there's actually like a spinny regulator inside that spins around, and little kind of wings come up to keep it going at the right speed. And it's such a delicate mechanism full of cogs and gears and all these random little bits. It's kind of incredible. But it's all because it had to send out pulses at a very specific rate. And it looks like something out of the Industrial Revolution just shrunk down. It's kind of amazing. We'll take that.
There's still a part I need to attach. Where does it go?
I'm talking, Maria. God, you really can't escape in games these days. Like somebody going oh, have you pressed the button? You press that button. Have you pressed the flashing button? You're like, let me figure stuff out. Okay, then we can rotate that back round. Plug this back into there. It's a phone. No, I mean, the rotary phones were great, and it meant that they were really powerful. They were really kind of revolutionary. But it's incredible how much it does just look like somebody took a factory from the 1900s and just squished it into a tiny phone. It's like they went, steam engines use these. Maybe you could use that on a household appliance.
When I handed the phone back to Carmen, she seemed almost reluctant to take it from me.
So it's all working now, is it? I don't have to leave it to dry or let it cool down?
Nope, it's ready to go. It'll be ringing off the hook in no time.
That's if I can pay my phone bill, anyway. And the rent, and the suppliers. Anyway, take a seat and I'll be right with you. Your coffee's on the house.
I sat at one of the empty tables, while at the counter, Carmen had started dialing the phone.
Hello? How's my favourite sister doing today?
And we are going to eavesdrop into the whole conversation, aren't we?
As she talked, Carmen became more and more tense. This didn't seem like a call for some cooking advice.
So judgy, Maria. Goodness.
I know I still owe you from last time, but I can't afford to take part in the festival if I don't pay.
I could almost feel the eye roll at the other end of the line.
You don't need to be here, though. Can't you just put the check in the post?
When the call ended, Carmen brought me my coffee, her hands trembling.
Sorry about that. My sister's decided to fly in for a visit. Oh God, I have to get ready.
I mean, I think in this this picturesque village, a hitman would probably do, or a hitwoman in this case, would probably do really roaring trade.
Actually, I might have another job for you. Can you come by tomorrow?
I'm just saying, Agent 47 could turn up here and make everything look like an accident and probably make a really, really solid living. Oh, it's a camera. That's quite a cute looking camera. Yeah, I had noticed that as well. Absolutely no one is paying us.
I'd promised Carmen I'd return to help her get the cafe ready for her sister's arrival.
That's not true. So far, we've been paid in grumpiness from the mayor, a stick of gum from the mayor's daughter, and also a cup of coffee. Oh no, we also got a yo-yo. In fact, I'm pretty sure Izzy has paid us the best out of everybody we've met so far.
I was about to set out when I received an unexpected call from my hotel's reception desk. Apparently, another guest had asked for me by name.
Why did you emphasize by name? That's how you ask for people. You don't go, hello, please can I speak to room 201? Like, if you know the person's name and you're asking for them at the desk, you're more likely to know their name than the room they're staying in if you've sent out flyers.
Curious, I took the creaking elevator up to the top floor and made my way to the room number they'd given. I knocked.
Are you here about the camera? It's about time.
Do you have the number for the murder girl? I would like her to do a murder. Well, yeah. I think maybe that's why you have like John Wick coins that you can just dramatically slide across the hotel desk and go, where is she? I will pay one of these mysterious coins.
The woman in front of me was immaculate. Not a hair out of place or a crease to be seen.
My sister tells me you know how to fix things. I'd usually go to an expert, of course, but in this town...
Oh, I get it. You're awful. Cool.
So this was Carmen's sister? The two of them couldn't have been more different. Inside her room, I saw a beautiful reflex camera. Any professional photographer's dream.
The viewfinder is completely dark.
I mean,
Can't see anything through it at all. I assume you can figure out what's wrong.
again, not to be a judgy Joseph, but I'm pretty sure professional photographers back then had like bigger cameras rather than small 35mm compacts if they were doing professional film stuff. Okay, so we have a mirror layout. It is at least an
The
SLR.
manual.
Why would you bring the manual if you don't want me to look at it? Man, can we just like glue this camera together like we did with that statue? Because I don't like this lady. Oh, well there's one of our mirrors. Oh no, I'm going to accidentally jam this screwdriver right into your professional camera's guts. What a terrible shame. Well, let's start randomly taking it apart with the one type of screw that apparently exists in this universe. Which, to be fair, I would actually be all for if that was if we could only get by one type of screw in devices like this. That would make my life quite a lot happier. Cool. You now free?
I don't suppose you've fixed anything this valuable before.
It's just... You really don't need to be that hateful when I'm fixing your camera and we've not even discussed a fee yet. Oh my god. Also, you're being very judgy for someone who smashed the camera to bits. Like that's quite the smash you've got there. Nice. It's got that little viewfinder prism on though. So I guess we put that back in there.
If I use the screwdriver, I could adjust the angle of the mirror.
I guess we probably have to put that at 45 degrees. Yep, there we go. There we go. Perfect. That's exactly how I want to fix this lady's camera. Absolutely zero view through the viewfinder or pictures. But somehow I don't think the game will let us continue until we are inexplicably nice to this horrible lady who has been nothing but horrible to us. So I guess we better, fix it and then come back and do the murder later. Oh. Front piece on. Then we put the top piece on. Then we put the back piece on. Oh, she wants us to load it as well, does she? Goodness. Oh, are you not going to let me load it? Or do I have to fix the rest of it before I load it?
Still a few parts missing.
I know.
Perfect. Now the viewfinder should be working.
Can I look into the viewfinder? Oh. Well, now I'm just disassembling it again. I have to say, I've been playing a bunch of like modern games, and I've been really, really craving the silent protagonist again, because I am really sick of the person who kind of won't shut up when you're when you're trying to just play the game. It's just like, can you maybe let me do the thing? Can I put the film in? Oh yeah, it goes in that side.
Looks like something is still missing.
Maria. Shush. I mean, that's definitely not fully loaded yet. We haven't taken the film out and spooled it along. But okay.
I felt a pang of envy as I handed the camera to Helena. I put my disposable to shame.
Yes, but On the positive side, you're not somebody who I immediately hated with every fibre of my being the second they turned up.
I picked it up on my first trip to Paris. It's a 1958 limited edition, the first of its kind. It cost me 3 months' salary, but it was worth it.
If it cost you 3 months' salary, why did you throw it into a brick wall?
I had no idea what 3 months' salary meant to Helena, but I was pretty sure it was more than I could afford. It was strange, really, that we were even staying in the same hotel. I'd picked this place because it was cheap and cheerful, but surely she could afford somewhere better? She took some test shots, fiddling with the camera settings until she was absolutely satisfied.
This work is immaculate. At least there's one person in this town who knows what they're doing.
I still hate you. Like, deeply.
Sending you to me might be the first thing Carmen's actually gotten right.
I wondered why Helena had bothered coming if she thought so little of her sister.
I mean, yep.
I hear nothing from her for weeks, and then when she finally does call me, all she wants is money. If she thinks I'm lending her another penny, she'll have to convince me it's not a total waste of time.
That didn't sound good. If Hurricane Helena was about to hit, I hoped Carmen was ready.
I mean, I hope Carmen has hired Agent 47. But, you know, we can't all get what we want. Oh, it's a neon sign. Nice. Let's maybe go back and speak to someone who's not Helena. That would be nice.
The sun was setting over Bellariva by the time I reached Carmen's cafe. From the outside, it looked as quiet as ever, but inside, I found Carmen cleaning like her life depended on it.
Maria! Oh, don't mind all of this. If Helena finds one speck of dust in here, I'll never hear the end of it.
I mean, she's not coming up in a good
Carmen
light at
seemed
all.
pleased to see me, but I sensed the fidgeting tension beneath each sweep of her mop. Trying to live up to the standards of someone like Helena seemed like an impossible task.
I hope you didn't mind fixing the camera for her. She was furious when it broke. I really need this to go well. If she doesn't lend me the money, I don't know how long I can keep this place going.
Did you break it, Carmen? Because part of me would break it if that was how my sister reacted.
Carmen led me to a back room, where she'd laid out the components of what looked like a neon sign.
I had this made when I first opened the cafe, but I'm hopeless with electronics.
So there was supposed to be a sign outside. This might explain the lack of customers.
I'd like to put it up before Helena gets here. Can you give it a try?
Again, I noticed that Helena at no point paid us. We just fixed what was apparently a camera worth 3 months' salary, and she didn't... Well, really, she didn't actually say thank you, but she definitely didn't pay us either. Just awful, awful lady. Alrighty, so... This is probably the main bit. We just... Yep. Apparently we can just fill that hole full of glue, which is exactly what you do when you fix anything. You just squirt glue into it absolutely blindly because you know that's going to help you fix it. Well, let's fix this properly by taking out the 2 screws that are the same as all screws in this universe. I'm not even convinced if we're in this period, in this time period, that we'd be having Phillips head screws. I'm pretty sure they'd all be flathead. He says, continuing his absolute nerd tirade. But let's just continue gluing. Sure. We need this much glue to ensure whatever we're putting in there sticks. Okay. So we have 2 circuit boards. We might as well take this cable out in the way that distresses me deeply. Gah. I assume what we need to glue in there is the power supply unit. Oh. Well, yeah, no, I don't think that's finished yet.
The whole thing is supposed to light up.
Thanks, Carbon. I guess we should probably put these bits on the front as well. Those green bits, I think... Yeah, they're connecting oddly to the back of the circuit boards. Probably... yeah. We do that one as well. Yeah, they're sort of coming through here a bit strangely. What is that through hole for up there? Don't know what that is for. Anyway, I guess what it's trying... the rotations are weird. I guess what it's trying to get us to do is to take the power supply to that one, and then a power supply from that one into that one.
I don't know, it's a bit flat. Maybe if it flashes, it'll really catch people's eye.
Great idea. I think I have a spare part that could do that.
Okay. Oh, I see. We're supposed to glue this down inside. It's got that gloomy effect. It's just... There we go. Make sure nothing will ever move. Pick that up. Look how much glue's come off the edges of that. Okay, pick that up. Splodge that down. And I guess what it's expecting us to do is put that in there. Take another cable from here to here. Is that the wrong way around? No, there we go, that's flashing.
It still needs something else. Maybe we can add one of these.
What? There. Okay. Let's glue, especially all over that solder hole. It's vital you get glue in any through hole where a wire or solder might be coming through, because it helps the conductivity. There we go. Where are you expecting me to squodge this on? Yeah, it confused me a little bit because this light's flashing and it's going out to these other ones which are then not flashing. But I guess then we have to complete the circuit around this way. Okay, I guess the question is, do we want ice cream, cocktail or pizza? Cocktail doesn't feel quite right for a cute daytime cafe, if I'm honest. So, any opinions on ice cream versus pizza? Which is the correct one for a cafe like this? Or will she judge us if we put the wrong one on? Well, ice cream is definitely one in the chat. I'm kind of curious if she'll judge us for putting the cocktail on. So I'm going to ignore you all and put that on, and then try the ice cream.
It works. I'll screw everything together again and you'll be set.
Oh, we're actually allowed to pick, are we? Okay then, well, fair. Let's have a look what it looks like with ice cream. Ah, come back. Ah, a nice raspberry ice cream.
Something is still missing.
As we can do this, let's see what the pizza looks like while we're here. A nice slice of pepperoni. Classic. But ice cream it is. Put Put the back on. Put the screws back in. Paying zero attention to which screw has to go where. Really, game? I will say this is adorable. The controls are a little bit fiddly when it comes to using it on PC. There we go. Now we have a lovely ice cream sign for our cafe. For the nice sister, not the evil
The
sister.
sign fixed, we headed outside and mounted it carefully over the cafe door.
That's perfect, Maria. It looks just how I imagined it. When I had this sign made, it all seemed so simple. Oh, I can't believe I might have to give it all up. I hope I've done enough.
To be fair, I'm not entirely convinced you had that sign made. Normally, if someone makes you a neon sign, it should come, like, plugged in and wired up. Because I really don't think normally kind of sign engineers are like, oh, here's an incredibly, like, high voltage sign where we're using really high voltages to make neon happen. You just go and faff with it, you know, stick your fingers into it. Maybe bridge the contacts with 2 different hands, it'll go fine. I mean, I'm not sure she's the best person to be running a business either. But I don't think this
Smile
world's
froze
quite
on her
right
face
either.
As she spotted something over my shoulder. I turned to see.
Of course, my sister owns the only cafe in this entire town that isn't actually open.
For better or worse, Helena had arrived.
I mean, definitely for worse.
Carmen opened her mouth to explain, but Helena swept indifferently past her. Finally pausing in the doorway, she turned back towards Carmen.
The first thing we're doing is getting rid of that hideous sign.
Oh, I hate her so very much.
And with that, she disappeared inside. I hoped Carmen's chances of saving the cafe hadn't disappeared with her.
Just not a nice person. Oh, and our next little gadget. Oh, hello. That looks like a little Game Boy Advanced. Ooh, goes Michael in the chat. There was a Game Boy Advance clamshell design that I never had because I had the original GBA. Was it the SB or something like that? It was like a really dinky, tiny Game Boy Advance, which was had a backlight. SP, thank you. Yeah, had a backlight which was like magic back in the day. It is very much looks like it's based off that, just with a single button rather than an A and a B. Unless it's like a Mr. Game & Watch thing, I guess. They had a lot of clamshell designs too.
It was the day before the festival, and the whole town was busy getting ready. I had more work than I knew what to do with. When Joseph called with another job, I was craving the cool quiet of his and Izzy's seafront house.
But has anyone actually paid you yet, so you could afford a ticket?
I'd barely reached their front door when I heard someone calling me.
Psst. Maria, I need your help. Quickly, it's top secret.
Not a top secret gamer, boy.
It was Izzy, peeking out from the side of the house. She beckoned for me to follow her. She led me through to a beautiful, unruly garden overflowing with flowers of every color. Nestled among them was a playhouse, its doorway almost completely obscured by a towering rose bush.
Every colour, like puce, the nicest of all the colours.
You have to squeeze past it and breathe in real small, like this.
Izzy took in a big gulp of air and crawled through the gap and into the playhouse.
Clearly the best character in this game so far.
I hadn't planned on crawling in the dirt today, but the life of a repairwoman never did run smooth. On the table inside, there was an electronic toy. Not exactly the usual stock in my parents' antique shop.
I had an accident. I didn't do it on purpose or anything, but it won't turn on anymore.
Oh no.
Can you fix it for me?
I mean, That is absolutely the sort of thing that I feel like, oh, it's got cartridges. I mean, I know I should be paying attention to the story, but it's got cartridges. Proper Game Boy looking cartridges as well. That cartridge would take up the entirety of that device. There'd be no space for the circuits. What's this? I mean, oh, that's a fancy circuit board. Remember to blow in the cartridge to get it all wet. Now that is something that I'm surprised they let through the auto filter. Oh wow, you really broke this.
Why does it sound so scary? It wasn't like that before.
Well, it's probably because you attacked it with a sledgehammer. How did you break the button? Those buttons are like solid bits of plastic.
It still sounds really bad.
Okay, well, yeah, that is shattered. It's a good job we knew to bring a new button though. I guess let's. Oh, no screws in this. Apparently the back just unplugs. So what do we have broken in here? Let's just. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. Yeah. I should probably be paying attention to where these wires went, but oh well. Yeah. So that circuit is completely knackered. And let's take this circuit board out as well. Put that down. Is this circuit okay? Let's have a look. Ah. So that's the controller circuit, because it's got the D-pad buttons and the button for the A. Nowhere for the... Nothing for the switch to work on. The on-off switch, but... That doesn't seem to come through at all. Oh well. Let's hoik out that button. What's this bit? I don't know what that bit is. Let's see what this bit is. I wonder if that's gonna... That might be something we need to use in a second. For now, let's put in our new fresh A button. So where's the cartridge plug it? Where does the cartridge plug into? Oh, it plugs into this bit of the thingy bob. That makes sense. I was wondering, like, the cartridge has to plug into something when you put it in. Okay. I guess we also need to fix the screen. Ah. Yeah, that's a lot of... Oh, God. That's a lot of angry flashing red lights. Oh, I hate it. I hate pulling out the cables that way so much. Okay. That is all one single screen unit. So let's take the new unbroken screen. Slap that in. I guess, is this like, that's supposed to be the speaker, I guess? Like a tiny little speaker. Yeah, looks like it. Cool. And then we need to wire everything back up, I guess. Which is where we play the I regret I wasn't paying attention game. In particular... Okay, well, let's put the audio plug back in there. So I guess it actually doesn't probably matter which ones they're going through. Because you've got audio to audio, like light to light. So yeah, let's plug it in a different way to how it was before. So you can make the light go through there, out of one, into there, and that's happy. And then we can make, for no good reason, the control stuff go through that way. We can make the audio connection go through this way. Now if we turn it on.
Nothing. Maybe there's an issue with the battery.
What, you mean like the battery's not plugged in? I mean, that could be an issue, to be fair. Clunky buttons. How do I... Oh, do I have to... There we go, I have to turn it off again. Let's have a look at this battery pack, 'cause it all came off at once rather than opening. Is that battery in the wrong way around? That definitely doesn't look like it's connecting, does it? So if I turn that all the way around... Yeah, that's definitely not connecting. It's like a big air gap there. Okay, let's just assume that's not a problem for now. And put the battery compartment back on. Put that back piece back on. Okay. So that battery's definitely not touching, but apparently it's fine. So I guess the last thing we need to do is put in a cartridge.
Do grown-ups play games as well?
No, probably. Ah, nice. You can take it out with the cartridge in. Let's get that all lined up nicely and hit the button. Oh.
Can you show me how to play? I tried before, but it was so hard.
Ah, it is a OG Game Boy. We've got the green shades of green. And apparently we're somewhere around the early 90s or late 1980s. Wow, it's a high-resolution screen for a handheld console of this era. Kudos to the manufacturers of this. Oh, it's like Pokemon Snap, isn't it? Where I have to take pictures of the creatures. Okay, that is cute. We have fixed the fictional Game Boy. Hooray!
Her toy fixed, I watched Izzy retreat into its screen, taking refuge in a 3-inch world of her own.
Nope, not touching that one.
Well, I'd better head inside. Your dad is waiting for me.
Please don't tell him about the game. He'll think I broke it on purpose.
I don't know how you smashed
Why
it.
would he think that?
Because, well, I kind of dropped it really hard at the wall.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Izzy looked down, scuffing her shoes on the worn floor of the playhouse.
My dad said I have to go to this stupid festival tomorrow and put on a stupid dress, and I don't want to. All he cares about is working. He never wants to see me unless it's for his job. I'm not going. He can't make me.
Okay, bye Izzy. Please don't break the games console again. I don't have that many screens.
With that, Izzy dove back through the rosebush and disappeared into the wilds of the garden. She was so young. She couldn't be expected to see that her dad was struggling too. It made me think, had I really tried hard enough to understand my parents' point of view?
Oh no, not self-reflection.
I was so focused on the adventures ahead of me. Maybe I didn't care enough about leaving them behind.
We shouldn't be self-reflecting. There's been way too much self-reflection in lockdown for me. I just want to fix nice things. Well, that's quite a nice looking watch. I guess that's the dad's watch.
Leaving Izzy hiding in the garden, I walked around to the front of the house and rang the doorbell.
Bing bong.
It was only then I noticed. My favorite overalls covered in grass stains. I scrubbed desperately, but it was too late.
Maria, what are you doing? What happened to your clothes?
The sound design of this is really, really good.
I was, repairing a lawnmower.
How unusual. Well, do come in. The job I've got for you is a little more delicate.
Why would repairing a lawnmower be unusual?
Totally embarrassed, I walked into an orderly room filled with papers and ledgers. So this was his office. You must be so busy getting ready for the festival. Are you looking forward to it?
Of course. It's traditional for the mayor to judge food from every cafe and restaurant in town.
Ah, so if we want to Agent 47 him, we have to pick the cafe we don't like and then put some of that emetic poison in their food. Got it.
I'll be declaring the best chef in Bella Riva by this time tomorrow. Speaking of which...
He unclipped the watch from his wrist and very carefully handed it to me.
I'll have a tight schedule to follow, but my watch stopped working a while ago. Could you see if you can make it tick again?
Of course. Because people who are good at repairs can always do everything from neon signs to tiny, tiny, complicated, impossibly delicate repairs on clockwork inside watches. You definitely don't need special tools for this, or like lathes, or any special skills for these incredibly complicated watchmakers. Oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that to all come off. Oh, hey, look, we've managed to find a screwdriver with a slightly smaller Phillips head screw. Which means it's the first time we actually have a different sized screw in this entire world. I think there's some plot on this watch. I assume he was given it by his wife. Man, they are some big gears for a watch. Oh no, what? I don't want to take anything out. What did I just take out? What did I just take out? Also, where's the power source in this thing? I may be examining these too in depth. I guess it's time to take out all of the gears without any thought of where they might go.
Ah, the main plate has completely cracked. I'll need to replace it.
Oh!
The cogs look good, though. If I'm careful, I can reuse those.
That was a very violent action you just did there, Maria. Okay. So... Okay, you're going to let me put stuff back in? There we go, that's one. That doesn't look like the right gear. It's not wanting me to put that one in anywhere. That one can go in there. I think maybe I'll have to get the gears off here. Yeah, there we go. Give us more gear options. That one is probably the one that goes in there. Or maybe not. Because that's just spinning freely, and I don't think it should be. Oh no, it looks like that might be what we have to do. I guess that one can go on that front bit. Okay. Do we want to maybe take out all those broken bits of glass? Can we not do that? Is there... Aha! Secret screws. Yeah, watches are surprisingly incredibly simple inside. Who knew? I've genuinely... My dad used to have some watchmaker repair kit. And the size of the gears is like horrifically tiny.
Are you sure it will all fit back together?
No. No, I'm not. How do I... Ah, there we go. I was about to say, how do we take out the completely smashed to bits glass? There we go. We've got a new front glass panel.
I've not gone a day without this watch since my wife gave it to me.
And again, thankfully we live in a universe where all screws are exactly the same size in the same product, so we don't have to pay any attention to this. Then we can put this bit, I think, in there. Or can we not put that on there? You're not going to let me put this on. Does that not have to go onto there? Let's put that bit on. There we go. We have to put it on through here. Oh, that's good. It automatically took the screws out for us as well. We can put that bit on in there. It's kind of really annoying me that the ticks aren't lined up to the bit that actually makes the tick noises. I think I have to screw these screws in first. To screw the case together. Then we can put that bit in. And then we can put the back on. The front working now? Like, it also wouldn't be ticking like this if you had a smooth moving second. Nope, I'm not going to go there. But normally the ticking noise is related to the second hand ticking around step by step, rather than it being a smooth action. Is that a finished watch now? That is a finished watch. Hooray! Ah, the Schloenfelder Automatic 36. Lovely.
As I handed the watch back to Joseph, my fingers traced over the engraving on the back. I hoped fixing this was one small way I could help him move forward.
I can't believe it's working, Maria. Thank you. My wife was a brilliant woman. Feeling this ticking on my wrist, it makes me feel like she's still here.
That's lovely, but are you going to pay me this time?
Watches measure minutes and hours like they're infinite. I didn't know we had so little time. Even with Isabel, I barely see her. And when I do, she acts like she hates me.
Again, a check would do? Postal order?
Just then, the phone rang. Even when he was at home, his work was never done.
Sorry, Maria. I have to take this. I'll see you at the festival tomorrow.
Not if you don't pay me, you won't. Seriously, cash is fine. Money? Notes? Bills? Coins? Anything? No?
As I left, I turned and saw him pacing the floor of his office, his watch glinting in the afternoon sun. I hoped its quiet ticking would at least bring him some peace during the busy days to come.
Just all of you are rubbish at how business works. Business involves paying your collaborators. I mean, she really, really does. It's like, yes, I'm very sorry. You've obviously all got family drama and trauma and stuff, but also, I'm just here to fix your watch. Please give me the money. Still though, next apparently we get to fix a massive old school slide projector. Who wants to bet on whether we'll get paid this time or not? I think the chances are quite
When my last job
unlikely.
of the day brought me to Carmen's apartment, the door was opened by someone I didn't expect to see, Helena.
I mean, but they are sisters.
Sorry for inflicting this mess on you. Carmen's never seen a knick-knack she doesn't want to buy, apparently.
Yes, and that's why, well, that's one of the many reasons I prefer Carmen to you.
Carmen's apartment was a little chaotic, but totally charming. It was easy to imagine her living in a place like this. It definitely wasn't Helena's style. She seemed more upmarket than flea market. I wondered why she was even here.
Because they're sisters and they're probably talking about the fact that one of them wants the other one to, like, lend them a lot of money.
We're having a clear out. Or at least I am. Carmen's not helping. As usual. There's a market at the festival tomorrow. I'm selling some of these things to make her some money. She says she has nothing when there's all this stuff right under her nose.
Helena stepped delicately past the items on the floor and reached down to pick up one from the pile.
Definitely on Carmen's side here, being a hoarder.
Look at this slide projector. Our parents treasured it, but Carmen treats it like a piece of junk. Can you take a look?
Are you going to pay me? That'd be nice. Alright, so what do we have? I do like that the backgrounds reflect the time of day where we are in the story and where we're supposed to be. Like, I didn't really notice it until we were in the playhouse with Izzy. And I was like, it's her floor. You can see all her graffiti. Oh, this time we've got 3 mirrors. That's how you know it's going to be a more complicated job. When you also magically know exactly what to bring to fix the thing before you've even seen it. Oh man, this is actually quite a lovely thing. Before we figured out rotary drum slide projectors. The items they've made for this are very, like, cute and nostalgic, even if they've obviously been understandably simplified for actually the gameplay. Whoop. Let's take out those screws. Remove the cover.
Oh, typical. Carmen's even managed to get a slide stuck in here.
Man, I thought I was the judgy one. Got nothing on a Helena. And then quick. Now we'll take that whole lump off. And then we can see what's down in here. Warning, beware electricity. I mean, that's always a good warning. Never trust electricity.
The light bulb is completely smashed.
Oh, there we go. We've got a new one of those, thankfully.
Okay, I'll need to redirect the light to the lens at the top for the projector to work.
So they just removed the... They're not even smashed, they've just removed all the mirrors from in here. I guess we put one there, and one there. Or one there, I suppose. And then... Ooh, it needs to go in that direction. And then we need to reflect the light upwards. Let's go in that direction. We need to look at... put that piece down. Look at this piece. There we go, there's another sneaky slot for a mirror up here. And then we get it directing that way. The light will come up here, reflect through that slide, hopefully. There we go.
I was so excited when I moved to the city. Carmen, she looks so sad.
Oh,
Here's the clicker you'll need to attach. God knows how Carmen broke that as well.
are you starting to have a bit of self-reflection
Still a
here?
few parts missing.
Is it broken? Just looks like she unplugged it. How do I guess we plug the cable into here, but then how do I'll plug that whole unit. Oh, I see. It's got a little dock that you can plug it into, and then boop. And then we press the button and see what happens.
Something is still missing.
Are you gonna grump at me until I put the case back on? Nice. Oh, look at that action. That I now apparently can't stop. Looks like... Oh, I guess do we have to put the slides in before we put the cover back on? Let's just put some slides in. And then... Oh no, we didn't need to do that before we put the cover back on. That makes a lot of sense.
Those screws still need to be put back.
Oh my god, Maria. I was literally doing it while you were telling me I wasn't doing it. Seriously. Protagonists need to shut up in modern games. I cannot stress this enough. It's like the whole thing with people being understandably grumpy at the new God of War game, that they won't, Atreus won't shut up when you're just trying to, you know, actually solve a puzzle by yourself and enjoy the beautiful artwork they've spent years making.
When we were younger, Carmen was always following me around.
That's maybe she liked you then.
I suppose she looked up to me. A cool older sister.
Oh, she's having a self-reflective moment. I really want to move that one slot forward. It's upsetting me I've left a gap. Better.
She used to ask me when I was coming home, but I was always too busy.
Oh, yep, she's just had one of those moments of self-reflection.
Helena was transfixed, staring at the two young sisters the projector had brought glaringly into focus.
But I'd not even played with the focus wheel yet.
I never meant to let her down.
But you haven't, have you? You came all this way just to help with the cafe. Plus the money.
That's the problem. There is no money. I lost my job a few months ago. My savings are almost gone. I have nothing.
Then you probably want to make the cafe a success then, I'd assume.
Carmen thinks I'll throw my checkbook at her bad decisions and make them okay. But I can't. Not this time. You know, the funny thing is, I came here wanting to tell her the truth. But she's so infuriating. How can I ask her for help when all she cares about is herself?
Well, I don't think that's true.
Helena fell silent, shrinking under the gaze of her younger self, projected onto the wall.
We drifted so far apart when I moved away. It felt like the only thing keeping us together was my bank balance. I know I have to tell her the truth. It isn't fair. But I already lost everything else. What if I lose her too?
I mean, that does humanize you a little bit, but I still am not a big fan of yours. And you still haven't paid me for any of the jobs I've done. I like how she's saying, oh, I've got no money, you know, I can't afford anything, I'm really worried about my sister. But you do have a limited edition camera that's like apparently the first of its kind that would probably go for several grand. And I understand it's very nostalgic, but maybe getting your sister to throw out all of her nostalgic things while you still hold on to something worth several thousand is a little bit hypocritical. As this game has got me into a judgy mood on all of the characters.
The day of the festival finally came, and after all my hard work, I was ready to put down my tools and pick up a fork. The smell as I entered the main square was incredible. Each stall was selling food even more delicious than the last.
Did we pay for a ticket? Or are we just wandering up with a fork?
The competition would start any minute. Most stall holders were waiting anxiously for the mayor to pay them a visit. All of them, that was, except Carmen, who was still frantically chopping vegetables and stirring pots.
Maria! Thank God you're here. Can I ask you the world's biggest favour?
Oh, is this about to become Cooking Mama instead?
Helena was supposed to help me run the stall today, but she never turned up. Probably too ashamed to show her face. I can't believe she lied to me.
Goodness, you two need
Carmen
couples
was
therapy.
stirring so furiously, she was in danger of tipping the pot over altogether.
The mayor will be here any minute for the judging, but I'm almost out of my special.
She wasn't really going to ask me, was she? Not on my day off.
I have a stove ready to build and everything. Can you set it up and make me a spare batch?
Oh my goodness, everyone here needs like some severe lessons on communication and how to actually like use their words.
Oh, her recipe is a bit smudged. Never mind, I'm sure whatever I put in will be fine.
1 pint of stock, quarter a stick of smudge, half a carrot, 2 broccoli florets, handful of chopped tomatoes, 3 wild mushrooms. I'm going to assume that says plenty of liquor. That is how cooking works. You just, I think it's half a carrot as opposed to half a claret. Although we could put like, you know, half a bottle of claret in and then plenty of liquor and just make the mare really, really drunk. That is not a particularly helpful instruction manual. It's not helpful at all. Anyway, thankfully I have put together camping stoves a long time ago. So let's see if I can still remember how they work. Plug that in. Plug that in the top, on the side even. Yep, I know how they work. And then we plug in the little stands so we can put a pot on top. Yeah, stop it. I want that. No, I want one of those. Thank you. And one of those.
It all fits. Now to light the gas.
And this is where we go full Agent 47. Let's just turn this on and wait for the gas to build up to create an accidental explosion in this picturesque town. So anybody read any good books while we just get ready for the explosion? Seems like it's going to be quite grumpy at me if I don't take a match. Whoop. And swoop. And whoop. It's always a good idea, I think, to light camping stoves when they're on their side. There is nothing dangerous about this orientation of a camping stove whatsoever. Well, how about we just put the recipe into the camping stove as well, just to make sure. Fine. I guess it probably wants us to put the thing on top. I mean, I'm now quite eager. Let's put in the stock.
I think that pot is really boiling now. Smells great if I say so myself. Here are the ingredients that Carmen's given me. What to add first?
I'm going to assume it's now not going to let me pick up the pot and just, like, turn it over. Okay. So we've put in the pint of stock. I mean, it was clearly a quarter a stick of butter, because in America, for some reason, butter comes in sticks rather than them having any actual measurement. So, do I have any way to actually cut this? Nope, apparently not. That's interesting. So I guess I'll take all the bits that aren't the rest of the butter, because that feels like it's probably too much. Half a carrot, so let's grab some carrot. And 2 broccoli florets. 1 of those, 2 of those. Handful of chopped tomatoes.
That looks good. I'll scoop a spoonful when I'm ready to serve.
I mean, I am clearly not finished yet. Then 3 wild mushrooms. Well, those are half of mushrooms. That's 1 mushroom. 2 mushrooms. 3 mushrooms. And then plenty of guess that must be onion. Onion, onion, onion. Well, you said plenty. And how does that taste? Because you put in the butter. So we put the stock, the butter, carrot. I think it needs a bit more carrot. There we go. Broccoli, tomatoes, mushrooms, and plenty of liquor. That's not the same name as the soup that was on the recipe. I feel lied to.
My part done, Carmen took over and added the finishing touches. It was just in time, and a moment later, Joseph arrived with Izzy in tow. Carmen anxiously handed them both a serving.
Hi, I definitely haven't put emetic poison in it, honest.
That was so tasty. Can I have some more, please?
No, it's probably not a good idea to drink that much emetic poison.
Well, you've certainly earned yourself a loyal customer in my daughter. We have a few more meals to taste, but so far you are one of the best. Good luck.
Hooray! Everything's coming
Joseph
up,
and Izzy
Carmen.
looked so happy together. Maybe the festival was doing them some good after all. Carmen, on the other hand, seemed annoyed. But why, when it had all gone so well?
I wish Helena was here to see this. She's so convinced I'll never succeed at anything.
She wants what's best for you. She's just not very tactful about it.
Yes, I know. Even when I was a kid, she pushed me when no one else did.
I mean, yeah, tactful is the correct word.
I just wish she hadn't lied to me. But then, I've asked so much of her over the years. I never stopped to think how much she actually had to give.
Oh no, now they're both self-reflecting. At this stage, I feel like I'm just gonna finish off the Oh, it's a record player. It's the Scotty Special. At this point, I was going to say I'm just going to continue playing this and finish it off, I think, because there's not too many chapters left to go. And I couldn't stop when there was a record player to fix. I would not hear the end of it. So let's get going with a record player.
The festival finished. I only had one day left before I had to catch my train and leave Bella Riva behind.
Oh no, we better fix the vinyl record player quickly then.
I couldn't go without saying goodbye to Carmen. So, that evening, I made my way to the cafe. It was unrecognizable. She'd done it. Best food in Bella Riva. Half the town was outside waiting to see what the fuss was about.
Does that mean she can pay us yet? Also, I noticed she won the argument about the sign.
Maria! My favourite sous chef. Come on through.
It was Carmen, acting every inch the successful cafe owner she deserved to be.
Aw.
Even Helena was there, serving the coffees. This was the last place I expected to see her after yesterday's drama.
They both self-reflected into some form of emotional growth. Who would have expected it?
Carmen led me through to a balcony upstairs, where she brought out an old record player.
I found out where Helena was on the day of the festival. She was selling her camera to clear the cafe's debts. But then she didn't have much left for herself. So, I've asked her to come and stay with me for a while. We have a lot of catching up to do.
Hooray, she did the obvious thing. That's good.
I wanted to give her this, to cheer her up. We listened to it all the time when we were kids. Do you think it has one last tune in it?
I tell you what, this is feeling more and more like a slightly more cloying Wes Anderson movie the further we get. At some point, there's going to be an incredibly symmetrical shot, and then someone's just going to start legging it up some stairs, and then we'll know we're in a Wes Anderson movie.
Okay, let's see what happens when we turn this on.
Ooh. It's a very old record player. It can still do 78s.
The speaker isn't connected properly. I should check the wiring.
Automatic tone arm.
The speaker isn't connected properly. I should check the wiring.
Will you just keep saying that if I leave you turned on?
The speaker isn't connected properly.
Oh my goodness.
The wiring. The speaker isn't
Yes, I
connected
know.
properly. I should check the wiring. The speaker isn't connected properly.
Is the speaker not connected properly? I am shocked and appalled. Okay. How are you going to let me check the wiring? Let's take the record off. She's repeating like a broken record. Ah, yeah. Distressing. It's really distressing. Oh. Apparently this record player has absolutely no screws keeping it together. That's impressive.
Here's the problem. This wiring isn't connected properly.
Okay. So, we've got nothing coming out of the speed or the volume dial, which is probably not great. Oh, I'm having that problem with it rotating weirdly again with a mouse. Nope, yep. Now I've completely lost trying to get it the right way up. Just go sit down again and pick it up again. Perfect. Let's take the belt off and feel like a proper tech moan. Let's take the motor out. And let's just... Ugh, I hate it so much. Let's hoik all the wires out. Let's take the... whatever that's called off. Is there anything else we can take out that we're supposed to take out, or are we supposed to now plug it all back in? So the power... Yeah, so I guess we want something from the speed going to the motor. Can we do that? I guess we need to put the motor back in. So speed goes into motor.
That's the speed dial connected. Now we should be able to change it. The speaker isn't connected properly. I should check the wiring.
Oh wow, is the speaker not connected properly? I had no idea. Oh no, she's just going to keep saying it, isn't it?
Properly. I should check the wiring.
Okay. And then... I don't actually know what this bit at the back is for. Oh, is that that's actually the power source? That's just the power button, I guess. It looks like we need something going the volume into there, and then from speaker to there. No, that's not right. That doesn't seem right. Can we do volume from there to there? And then power... Oh yeah, because there's power traces coming out of there. So the power goes into wherever that bit is. Ah, that's the bit that controls the tone arm. And probably gets the pickup from the tone arm. We then put that through the volume dial. And then out to the speaker at the end. That kind of makes sense.
I think that should do it. This record should play beautifully.
What did you say now?
Looks like something is still missing.
No, back to another old classic. Yes, I wonder what could be missing apart from most of the record playing apparatus. Put the belt back in. Put the table back in. Put the record on. Put the dust cover on. Feel like a proper tech mode.
Spinning the wrong way. How can I get it to play in the right direction? It must be to do with the motor. Let's see if one of these spares can turn things around.
I don't know what you're talking about. It sounds absolutely perfect. It's playing exactly at the right speed and the direction. Perfect. Absolutely nothing wrong with that reproduction. It's beautiful. Okay, so it's clearly supposed to play at 45. Let's pull it all apart again. What, at the wrong speed and backwards? You always have been a bit of a hipster. Let's take the belt off. Take them. Oh, apparently we can't take the motor
Turn the
out.
volume up. I should be able to hear it now.
What are you talking about? I've already turned the volume up. It's true. It's like how the youths listen to all their audiobooks at like 5 times speed.
The speaker isn't connected properly. I should check the wiring. The speaker isn't connected properly. I should check the wiring.
So upsetting.
This motor doesn't seem to work. Maybe I'll have better luck with a different one.
Yep, that's definitely still going in the wrong direction. What about this one? I'm not sure this is what you do instantly when you're fixing,
Looks like something is still missing.
like the belt. There we go. There we go. That's going in the right direction.
Well, it's playing in the right direction. I should check it's turning at the correct speed.
I don't think this is how you fix like motors in these devices. Like how do you have a motor in your record player that goes in the wrong direction? And you can just invert you can just change the polarity of the cables in most old motors to make them play in the other direction. Anyway, I'm stop going to judge this on reality.
What will remain of these days? The sweetest word
Classic.
I've ever heard.
You just change the cables around, because normally they just have, especially old motors, they just have a
What will remain of the
positive and neutral cable, and if you turn it the other way around, the motor goes in the other direction.
my heart that day?
I quite like this at 78. It's funky.
Surely want to know.
It's certainly better than at 33, where it sounds, what's the word? Definitely haunted. I think everything's going to have a rap by Kanye on it, though. Oh, it's so horrible at that speed. There we go.
Nothing to win or to lose on the lonesome path. Our love was born. What will remain of the smiles? The ones
It's quite a nice tune.
my heart that day.
Da, 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 da.
Surely want to know.
On with the plot.
The record player's crackling tune must have caught Helena's ear, as she appeared a few moments later.
Is that my old record player? I can't believe you've kept it all these years, Carmen.
It's not crackling at all. Surprisingly clean signal for such an old, awful record player.
Leaning over the music, they looked just like the young sisters the slide projector had preserved all these years, inseparable once again. Carmen told me about your camera. That was a really generous thing to do.
I loved that camera, but I love my sister more. Now it's her time to be the person she wants to be.
Personal growth has happened.
I'm going to stay here with her for a while. Make up for lost time.
Is that because you don't have a job anymore and she might be able to now afford to pay you to work in the cafe? On which note...
Carmen and Helena's relationship wasn't suddenly going to be perfect, but they were both prepared to try. And to think, it had all started because of a call Carmen made about some seasoning tips.
Can we get paid yet?
I guess in the end, maybe it wasn't so hard to just pick up the phone and dial. I hadn't spoken to my own parents in a year. I wanted to hear their voices more than anything,
Oh, apparently we're about to experience personal growth as well.
but the silence between us was so cavernous. I didn't know how I'd ever find the words to bridge it.
think maybe if you'd called them once in the past year, they maybe wouldn't be so grumpy about you leaving. Ooh, I was right. It is some form of kind of jewelry box, or perhaps a music box. Okay, a couple more to go in the main plot. Let's continue fixing.
Final morning in Bella Riva, I received one last call out to Joseph and Izzy's house. I knew I had to pack, but I figured I could squeeze in one final job before I had to leave.
Rude.
When I arrived, I found Joseph tidying up his wilderness of a garden. The playhouse was already cleared. Inside, I could see Izzy happily testing out her screw-driving skills on the back of her cassette deck.
Well, at least she's not thrown it at a wall this time.
You've made quite the impression. Izzy, tells me she's going to be a repairwoman like Maria.
I'm sure she could be anything she wanted if she put her mind to it.
We've had a positive impact on the world. Maybe.
She could. She's a brilliant child. Spending the day with her at the festival, I haven't had so much fun in ages. I wanted to give her something before she starts to forget.
Ah, it seems not just the sisters have had some spurts of emotional growth.
Inside, the house was transformed, flooded with light and the sounds of the garden. It felt alive again. This would be my last repair in Bella Riva, but it felt like it was the house that had really been restored.
Ah, metaphors.
It's a music box. It used to play beautifully, but now when I wind it up, nothing happens. I'd love for Izzy to hear it sing again. Can you help?
Again, are you going to pay me? I really need money for train tickets. Oh, the glue's back. Let's try winding it and see what happens. Ah, it's that song, 4 minutes 28. A very brave choice to put a song entirely of silence into a music box. Oh, oh. Oh, that was a secret drawer. I was expecting that to be a button. Oh, and the secret drawer has secret screws under it. Sneaky. I guess let's take out this panel at the top, even though there's no real obvious reason why we need to.
Maria, could you add this family picture of us?
Oh, I can certainly do that. But why don't you want this picture of an old church? What's in that drawer? Oh, it's like it's a little bird on a stick. Ah, that's probably the thing that's supposed to actually like move with the music. That's an interesting choice rather than the usual spinning ballerina. Let's hike out some screws. Inspire Izzy a little bit more. Oh, no. Ah, this interface is very designed for mobile. There we go. Let's grab the base off. Oh. Okay, that's not how I expected that to come apart, but I will take it.
This mechanism is completely broken. I'll need to take it all apart before I can fix it.
Oh, did it? Yeah, that is, that thing's the bit that's supposed to spin around and twang the little metal notes, and that is definitely broken. Can we wind it up and see just how broken it is? Oh, yes. The spring that we wind up doesn't connect to anything. Oh, again. That wasn't the bit I was expecting to come out, if I'm honest. Let's take all of this apart. That bit needs to come out. That bit needs to come out. That bit's really broken. Is there any other bits that we probably need to take out? No, I don't think so. So we can put back in the play wheel thing. And we need to put that back in up there. So that meshes with that gear. And then that gear will mesh with that gear. That gear will mesh with that gear. Now, not quite sure what this bit is. Like a little bird in its nest. Now if we twiddle this. Okay, so that's a bit better. We've got some gears spinning. And we don't have the spring just being weird. Let's have a look. We had this bit in the top. What was on the underside of this? Nothing. What was on the underside of this bit? Because I think we took something out from higher up. Ah, yeah. So that's got an extra little gear in there. So if we put that in there, maybe? And then put this back on top. Oh! We forgot that bit, which actually links it to the music wheel. Nice.
Perfect. The mechanism is good as new.
Okay, we can put that back down. Look at this bit. I think I've just realised this will probably like turn over and expose a little bird in the nest. So maybe it's like a mama bird feeding its chick. Put that back on like that. Put the, if we do the key again. Yeah, there you go. And it somehow magically does things, even though its beak is definitely in that gear. It somehow magically flips over and has loads of little animated gubbins, but that's nice. So we put that back in and we do it again. That is a pretty mechanism. I do prefer that quite a lot to a random ballerina. So we put that back in there. And then that back on there. Put the screws back in. Oh, I haven't seen any place where we can glue yet. Maybe that's for the photo. That screw back in. I think that bit's all good. Means we can slide the drawer back. And no. Yeah. So the picture we have to glue in. Even though it's got like a frame for holding it down. So as always, we're going to use just the right amount of glue. Make sure it will be fine forever in there. Family photo down. That in. That in. Final screw in. And I think that's the music box repaired, if I can rotate it around so I can see the key. Stop it. There we go.
I think that's everything back together again.
My
Yay.
wife
I should
used
play it to make
sing
sure.
this song to Izzy each night before bed, but I always work too late to join them. Will you dream a dream for me if I sit by your side and hold you so tight? Know that I will always love you, even though we both know that we must say goodnight.
I think several bits of plot were trying to happen at the same time there. But that is quite cute. It's nice that it links back to the cassette thing that was one of the first things we fixed.
I've missed so much already. I want to be the father my wife wanted me to be. I've ended up so much like my own father, working all the time. Izzy needs me more than that, especially now it's just the two of us. My daughter comes first. Well, until she gets bored of her stuffy old dad anyway.
Emotional growth successful.
I'll never ever get bored of you, Dad.
Izzy came running into the room where Joseph scooped her up and onto his shoulders.
Oh,
She gazed at the music box, her eyes shining. I'd never seen her look so happy.
Thank you, Maria, for everything. The things you fixed for me. I'm so glad to have them back.
that's lovely. As I said, check, postal order, or cash. I will take any of these things. Now. Here's an invoice. Money, please. Money, please. The real fix was to their hearts. I'm not a heart
Joseph
surgeon.
was a good father, and I could tell he was determined to be an even better one. When it came down to it, that was all any of us wanted. A second chance to make something right.
No, it's money. It's money to be paid for the job I've just done. That's what I want.
My time in Bellariva was almost over, but before I left, I knew there was something of my own I needed to fix.
Nobody pays for jobs in this town. It's rubbish. Oh, we're going to pack our suitcase again. And we've only got one more bonus level to do. We're not going to get paid for packing our own suitcase, so I don't know how we're going to afford the train
My
tickets.
time in Bellariva was almost at an end. Another chapter finished in a story whose ending I hadn't felt ready to write. The people I'd met, the items I'd restored, they'd taught me so much about what was really important.
What? Hey, I'm sure I was allowed some of the stew that that I was helping making. But it does feel a bit like it could go a bit being boiled on a
Pulling
pot.
out my suitcase from beneath the bed, I remembered the day I stole it from my parents' shop, the day I left. Afterwards, I was too ashamed to call them, to apologize. It was a guilt I'd been carrying around every day since.
Well, lucky for you, I know someone who's just repaired a telephone.
As I packed, I knew that it was up to me to find a way to lighten the load.
Clasp. We gonna... Oh, apparently you've got some new things. Oh, the history of watches. I mean, I mock, but I have actually read a very similar book about timepieces. So, hard to mock.
Joseph's idea of light reading for the train. It does look thorough.
I think maybe we should have read that before we attempted to fix... before we attempted to fix his own watch.
My parents would love Bellariva. Maybe I can convince them to make the trip. The recipe for Carmen's special. I'm under strict instructions to guard it with my life.
It's okay, no one can read it, so you just have to guess anyway. Put our clothes in.
Helena gave me these designer shirts. Not sure I'll pull them off as well as she does.
Put our passport in.
My train ticket. I can't believe it's time to leave Bellariva behind.
I would suggest we go somewhere where people actually know how to pay their money for the fixes. Where's the Stegosaurus from? I mean, I guess from Izzy, but...
Izzy gave me this in exchange for my repair manual. She'll be a pro in no time.
Apparently we also got her cassette recorder, which feels...
The soundtrack to my travels. I'll be listening to this on the journey.
I'm amazed... Oh no, that's our Maria's mix again. Okay. That's right, she had a different cassette player. Are you going to phone your parents
My suitcase
now?
was full, but it was my heart that felt heavy as I made my way to the station. I was sorry to be leaving Bellariva behind, but I hoped that in my own small way I'd made a difference.
Oh, metaphors.
Helena and Carmen's reunion was possible because they'd learned to overcome their differences. Joseph had realized he shouldn't let his grief or his work get in the way of his relationship with Izzy.
I assume this is just in case you haven't got the morals that have happened in the game before. It's going to spell them out for you.
They'd each learned to see things from someone else's perspective. Maybe it was time I saw things through my parents' eyes. I knew it would be easier to jump on the next train, put even more distance between us, but I finally felt ready to talk to them. I just didn't know if they would feel the same. Did I even remember their number? I wasn't sure until I reached for the phone and it all came flooding back.
Hooray! Telephone.
Mom? Dad?
Maria? Is that you?
Dad, no one will pay me. It's true. 0 people will give me any money. I'm so poor. Credits. Vinny. But the real question is... Oh, it's a proper barista's coffee machine. Let's do this and then we can wrap up. Oh, an epilogue
Dear
will...
Maria.
Oh.
Carmen here. Sorry I haven't written. The cafe's been absolutely manic since you left.
I was about to say an epilogue where they couldn't afford to pay their voice actors, but clearly they can.
Luckily, I have Helena here to help. You wouldn't recognise her. She's like a new woman. She's always running round, taking orders and making drinks. I even heard her compliment a customer on their outfit. Personally, I draw the line at fluorescent green bowling shirts, but each to their own. It certainly made the customer smile.
Good to see everyone still being really judgy.
She misses the city, though. Bellariva's many things, but it's definitely not as chic as she'd like. She said there was a coffee shop near her old apartment where they made coffee with a shape drawn on top.
Who's going to become the full-on barista artiste?
It got me thinking, I'm an award-winning chef. I can figure out how to put a leaf on a cappuccino. A bit of cosmopolitan coffee might be just what Helena needs.
Wow. Carmen's got very, up herself after one award win.
Of course, ordering a new coffee machine was the easy part. I wish you could have seen the mess I got into trying to put the thing together.
Oh, pipes. And we get a cookie this time for the pause menu. Pipes and so many cables. And a boiler. And a different screwdriver. But I bet it's still the same screws. Swoop.
I saw Maria use her screwdriver a million times. Taking this apart will be easy.
Oh, so we're actually playing as Carmen. Also, I'm pretty sure I fixed like 2 things for them. Feels like a bit of an exaggeration to say you saw me taking things apart a million times. And that's the bit you burn yourself on.
These pipes look pretty simple. I should start with them.
I don't think it should be on when we're taking it apart. Like, I strongly believe that shouldn't be venting, like, deadly scalding steam as we're trying to take this apart. But okay.
That steam doesn't look good. There must be something wrong with the pipes.
Well, we shouldn't be doing it while the steam's going.
I'll need to connect all the pipes correctly to stop the steam pouring out.
Yes? I'd sort of guessed that. I guess this one probably goes actually up here. Ooh, hang on. More screws to take out. Ignore the dangerous scalding steam. Okay, so that will help us with the wiring. I'm going to assume this one goes on there. This one goes on there. Does that line up with the arrows? Yeah. Good. I think.
How can there be so much steam? Ugh, I'm getting soaked.
Oh. That's maybe promising. Alexa plays Steam by E17. Oh no. Surely it's not come to that. Oh, no, I get it now. We actually need that one there. And then that one there. And that one in there.
Finally, no more steam.
Well, hopefully the steam comes out in the coffee at least. Otherwise we'd have a problem. The lead singer ran himself over with his own car after eating free baked potatoes. I really strongly don't know what to do with that information. Where's this supposed to go? Oh. Clearly we need to put this circuit board somewhere. Oh no. Don't take a bit out. Where does that circuit board go? I genuinely don't see an obvious place for it. Oh. Oh. That's how we get the cables from one side to the other. Okay, I get you. So. Let's put coffee in number 1. And then coffee to number 1. And let's put steamer in number 2. And number 2 to steamer. That's good. We've wired this horrendously in the back. So we have to have crossed wires for no good reason. And electricity goes in number 3. Then we just need to plug them in on this side. Electricity goes to electricity. Oh, we probably should have followed these wires before. Coffee goes down there, crosses the wire, crosses there. So coffee is that one. No, that's not right. That one. And steam is that one. Okay. Let's put that back on. Screw that back in. And put this back panel back on. Screw that back in. And then put the front panel back on. Let's just make sure the buttons are working. Good. Coffee water's coming out of the coffee hole. And steam water's coming out of the steam hole. Those are the official technical terms. I really should know the terms. I used to sell these.
It looks like I've forgotten.
I was doing it.
Better test the buttons, just to make sure.
I've already tested the buttons, but okay. You do know you test the buttons before you screw the paneling on these things, right?
cake. Time to make my first coffee, I think.
Hooray! Put mug down, pick thing up, put coffee into the thing, make coffee, forget to put mug underneath, watch all coffee, dribble out into drip tray. Perfect. Now we put the cup underneath and make a really weak second cup of coffee. Sorry, Mike. I know that appalls you.
Smells delicious. Now to make it look magical.
Can I still rotate it? Yeah, there we go. Let's just drizzle the coffee everywhere. Do we not need to steam this? I mean, we all know what's about to happen here, don't we? Ba 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 ba. Da na 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 na. Picture.
A perfect coffee. All it needs is a saucer and a couple of Helena's favourite biscuits.
Yes, a perfect picture on top of our coffee. Beautiful, beautiful latte art. Oh, I can do it again. That's nice. Let's draw this a bit better. Just there we go. There we go. It is the most cosmopolitan. And then we just make sure we've tipped it all out before we put it on the saucer. A beautiful cosmopolitan work of art. Oh, such a child. But you do get a lovely pair of Yoel biscuits. So, you know.
I was feeling more has-been than coffee queen by the time I'd made a drink fit for human consumption. It looked a bit, postmodern, but knowing Helena's refined tastes, I hope she'd think it was intentional.
Deliciously postmodern.
Always the connoisseur. She didn't even bother to look at it at first. She was so busy wafting it under her nose. Steamed up her glasses, of course. How was she going to see my work of art through an eye full of fog?
Yeah, how are you going to see my obvious Winky through all that fog?
When she finally spotted it, though, she was totally impressed. I'll admit, she spent several minutes trying to figure out exactly what it was I'd drawn. She decided it was probably a horse. Well, what she doesn't know won't hurt her.
Sure, let's call it part of a horse.
She was impressed enough to ask for another one. I guess I'll need to get some practice in. The whole thing was such hard work, Maria. I never realised how difficult it was, all that mechanical stuff. It made me realise how much I have to thank you for, so I wanted to say that now. Better latte than never. Hoping you're well. Your friend, Carmen.
Cool. Are you gonna put a postal order in that envelope? Some money, maybe? A check? A check's fine. We're still in the era you can cash checks. No. No check. Alright. Well, I guess it's time for us to leave it there. Now we have finished this delightful little game. So as much as I'm being quite cynical throughout that, because honestly I've played enough of these slightly twee stories to last me a lifetime, that was quite a nice one. It was quite cute. The disassembly and reassembly stuff was quite nice. Obviously not a very long game, because there's not that many things to disassemble and reassemble. But it was nice enough. I enjoyed playing with things and drawing rude art on a top of a latte. I really, really want someone to make a game like this, where the disassembly and the reassembly is a bit more complicated and a bit more puzzle-like. because I love playing with these sorts of little toy box devices, like in the room games. And as much as these games are super cute and really nostalgic for me, I always find them just a little smidge underwhelming because A, they're very, very handholdy and they shout at you when you're doing anything wrong, and B, they're just... It always feels to me like that's the introduction, and then you get to the real game where you're going to be like reassembling more complicated stuff. The only thing that really had any struggle with it was this final coffee machine one. But anyway, it's lovely enough. And I have to say, I'm super, super looking forward to our first game, LOK, coming out fully in the digital form, because that was tickling my brain in all the right places. I really, really super enjoyed how the mechanics were starting to interact and interfere with each other in a way that I think is only going to get more and more brain tingly as the game goes on. Anyway, that's it for today for our super cozy Sunday stream. Thanks for joining. Remember, you can go wishlist LOK and play the demo. I'm sure the developers will really appreciate it. And I will see you next weekend, where I'm probably going to play something not quite as twee, I suspect. I think I've had enough twee for a little bit. But cheers for joining. I'm going to go look up why the lead singer of E17 ran themselves over with potatoes, as has happened in the chat. But I'll see you hopefully again next week. Until then, have a lovely week, and don't remember to experience both metaphors and emotional growth this week. Cheers for now.